Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 291, the Haunted Edition.
Haunting.
So spooky. Fran, you look spooky, actually. You got the orange background. Was that on purpose?
Yeah,
that's true.
No, I mean, yes.
Yes, naturally. Awesome. Fran, I hope you're bringing some Australian facts, too.
Fair dinkum.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Excellent.
Good
Not
start.
bad, not bad, not bad.
Let's all
Starting
get
off
Fosters.
Mylan couldn't be here this week. He's being attacked by spiders.
Yeah,
we expect this
spiders.
to take a few months to clear up.
Yeah.
The infestation is significant. So
Yes.
So head to his Twitter and wish him congratulations on the spiders.
Happy
yeah,
Yes.
happy fair dinkum spider. Oh man, Fran, how have you been?
Good, man. I've been being tarnished.
Tarnished.
A lot of the time, obviously, in addition to checking out the new season of Destiny here.
You said you're 300 hours into Elden Ring?
Just about, Watts could probably tell you more about what I've been doing. She shows up at those
Yeah, I do.
judgmental
Sure.
hours all of a sudden, you know.
Judgmental
What's going
hours.
on in here?
Casting long shadows of shame.
What are you using? Okay.
Are you aware of Watts' notebook?
Yes, I've
Yeah,
seen
my
her do
notebook.
it.
Mhm.
That was the
Yeah.
first thing she did when she popped in. She was like, "Are you taking notes?" And I was like, me of all people, I would like the spreadsheet, the
Yeah.
notes, but for whatever reason in this game, I think it's the obscure, obtuse nature of the whole lore and setup that I was like, I am not writing down when this character says some super odd thing that then you don't know for like 5 hours
Yeah.
or 50
That's why you
what
write
the
down.
next step is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Speaking
mostly-
of super obscure, I got some issues with the current state of Destiny. Like trying to figure out what the hell I'm
Oh.
supposed to be doing based
Lay it
off
on
of
us,
a quest
Brian.
page.
Oh,
like-
I want to hear about
Like
that.
I'm trying to follow the Bound in Sorrow quest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all I'm trying to do. And it's like, here's the instructions. Here's what you need to do. Complete tiers of the Nightmare Containment public event with the Derelict Leviathan and bind your Vestiges of Dread at the Nightmare Harvester after completing the final tier to create bound presence. Each additional time you bind after completing the final tier has a chance to reward a bound presence. And then
Yeah.
it says
Duh.
it's got
Pretty
checked out for
self-explanatory.
bound
It's-
presence.
Basic necromancy. Come on,
It just
man.
is unchecked. I'm like, okay, I feel like you've kind of told me what to do, but it's not doing the thing that you're telling me it's going to do. Is this RNG? Like, tell me it's RNG. If it's RNG, it feels like it's RNG.
It's
Like,
not RNG.
This is a lot of words that you seem to have made up recently.
They spelled it out in extreme detail, if anything, Brian.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Since you're a lore master, they expected you to understand the process.
I've never felt like I needed Mylan more in my life than when he has abandoned us for the great spider pandemic of 2022.
Oh man, yeah, it was a bit confusing on how they, and also the fact that there's two nodes to choose for the ship. So you you read it and it tells you one was for containment and the other's for like doing stuff for exploration, all that. So once you start getting between the lines, you're like, oh okay. But initially I was like, what the hell? What what am I doing?
Like, why isn't the bound presence checkmark checking?
So bound presence is a consumable material that drops sometimes from doing that event. And the
So
brown,
it's RNG.
it is RNG to get it. And the bound presence is where you go to the weekly story mission, and it allows you to open an extra chest at the end of the story mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just got to continually run
Just keep doing it.
the Nightmare Containment public event
Yes.
within the Derelict Leviathan and binding my Vestiges of Dread at the Nightmare Harvester
Yes.
after completing the final tier to create bound presences.
Yeah.
I just have to keep doing it until I finally just happen to get a bound presence to drop.
Yes.
Yeah, I must have been
More
like,
than
I
4
believe so.
times.
You don't need 4. I only have 2
Well,
on me
I
total.
need 1, right?
Oh,
I only need 1 to move step 3 of 51 of Bound in Sorrow quest.
well, that's it's a seasonal quest.
The
it's
quest
all
takes
seasonal.
you through all of the weekly story missions as
Yeah.
well and everything.
Yes, which I can't wait to see. But I'm just stuck running tiers of the Nightmare Containment public event within the Derelict Leviathan and binding my vestiges of dread at the Nightmare Harvester. After
Make
completing
sure
the
your
final tier of-
inventory isn't full.
Yeah.
That's an issue. Would they go to
might
the
wanna-
postmaster?
Well, so us as Destiny
Maybe.
players have had it not go to the postmaster so many times that I think we're all
Yeah.
just like, just get rid of all of the inventory stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, did you interact with the banner and all that? And do the stuff and
Yeah.
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 Because
Just
so
waiting
I
for
read
that one thing to drop.
I read the same thing and I was like, whatever, I'll just do the thing and assume it's gonna get
Just
it
do
done.
the thing, yeah.
And it did. So I assumed that I was just supposed to bind my vestige or whatever in the thing that was happening. I don't know how
Yeah.
I did it, but yeah, I progressed it. Did you do the quest then? The weekly mission? Or does that
No, I think
preventing
that's
it?
after this, right?
Yes.
It is after that. Yeah.
Is such
So I'm
a
just sitting
When
here-
you
shame.
want it, that's
I'm
my
just
biggest
running
point of
this thing
feedback on
over
this
and
whole
over
thing.
again, waiting to like continue this.
I have a lot to say about that part.
Yeah, Briar would have had tons to say about this. About the
That's
quest.
true. Briar
not the
would have
weekly
had
mission,
a
getting
ton to say about the weekly
Tons.
mission.
I will say that once again, our friend Crow is totally gone bitch on us.
The weekly story might have you feeling a bit different. Even you, Brian.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah, you see, I was
He
looking
supposed
forward.
to show up at the Nightmare Containment public event, and he just completely bitched out. He just didn't show.
See, I was looking forward to Brian, Briar,
Brian.
How dare you use my real name?
doubling down on this Crow theory after seeing this mission because I'm assuming you're just gonna get double down anyways. But
But you never know. This if anything's gonna change your mind, it would be that mission. I feel like,
Yeah.
and what's going on with him this season.
maybe I don't know. If anything, it might
Maybe
make
not.
him go, well, it's in him. So clearly
Maybe.
he's gonna get turned,
Mm.
even if he thinks he's not gonna get turned. Then suddenly he's Aldrin being bad,
Yeah,
bad boy Aldrin.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come
What'd you
for
think of the opening mission, though? Huh?
Yeah.
Freaking spooky.
Spooksville, right?
Spooky.
Mm-hmm.
I was uneasy.
How'd you feel
What
about them
was
bringing
the first
back
season they introduced the ghosts?
Shadowkeep season?
Shadowkeep. Thank you.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about the ghosts that coming back into the realm of Destiny or into something else? You know, like this haunted situation. How do you feel about it?
I
The
like
nightmares, you mean?
it. The nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the aesthetic and all that. You know.
I like it because so they're exploring Zavala's nightmare is his wife, Sophia, which is really interesting. She's
Right.
only been in the lore so far.
Yeah.
And there's a lore page that we can talk about in a little bit that it sets her up to be a pretty awesome character. So it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be kind of heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the nightmares do a really good job of exploring a lot of human emotions and a lot of human experiences that we go through. So I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
And I
especially
do like
that-
it, it's spooky.
Especially that first mission. I thought they did a really cool job of like showing how much nuance was going on with Crow and his back and forth with feeling about Aldrin. Even the fact that he's like, oh my God, I recognize all the stuff that he was talking about. And he's disgusted with himself over
Yeah.
being like, I'm the same person. This is driving me crazy, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
you are.
see, Briar? See? You missed it, man. Yeah, I think it's really, like you said, weaponizing the nightmares. I think that's a good angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a good way to like show like those darkest or human emotions that don't come out as often in like the regular conversation. It's like an easier path, I think, to like show the angst and things like that people are having, what's haunting them.
Yeah.
So I think the device works. I think though, for my first reaction, of course, was like, oh, nightmares are back from the moon and whatnot. Like,
Mhm.
they gotta, you gotta cycle that stuff through. They only have so much newness they can throw at us in a given year. But like from meaning a mechanics side, I wasn't like particularly. I didn't feel like excited or not that they were back, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
you're always
sure.
wanting there to be new mechanics and enemies, but it's not, realistic
yeah,
after it's usually the big yearly expansion that we get to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The thing I wanted to say before real fast was, so opening the weekly mission, I don't know how you guys feel. And I'm trying to remember, like, I feel No, I know I'm pretty confident, but correct me if I'm wrong. Some of these seasons we've hopped like directly in, right, to the weekly missions. I feel like Arrivals was one of the first ones that really like started to throw you like, boom, we're gonna get you right in the field. And we didn't have that with this. We had a great cutscene. Right? Didn't it open with a cutscene this time and set things
Yeah.
up? And then it was like, time to hit your public events.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that personally. I guess if you were really grinding it quickly, it's probably not too bad, but why? Why not just let us get very quickly into the weekly mission? And the only answer, of course, is to try to get people into the public containment like events and introduce them to it so they don't skip it or whatever. But like, if that's your problem, that you're afraid you're not going to get in there, I mean, I think you have a fundamental problem. Like they should want to get in there. But I don't know that that's it, but didn't it feel like a little forced to make you play and grind the containments before you could just do the weekly mission?
Interesting. I
It
didn't
only
feel like
took me like 2 or 3, I think. It wasn't
Yeah,
very
It
it
took
didn't
me at least several.
it didn't take
I've
me
done
very
so
long.
many, and like the first several, there was
With
only like
Rise? Yeah,
one
not
other.
there
The
yet.
matchmaking, the matchmaking wasn't working. So like the first several,
Mm.
I was in there by myself, not understanding the mechanics,
Oh, really?
and
Oh,
just kind
and
of
you're-
getting shut down.
Low level.
I wonder if that's why. It does. So it does
But-
bump you up to 15.
Yeah, it bumps you up automatically to.
Oh, it does? I
Like,
didn't realize
I'm just
that.
wondering
Yeah,
about
level, yeah.
matchmaking though, because it still knows what level you are. And we know that Destiny is still having issues with Dares of Eternity, new players
Oh.
getting like no one in their
Yep.
their
Wait, I
level.
have an important question. Watts, did you match into what is it? Yeah, Castellum and went it's like exploring style, or did you go straight to matchmake the event?
I did the exploring stuff.
Same.
Okay, so did I.
I've
And
pretty
see,
much only been there.
but I think that's why it maybe took a bit longer, and it might be varied results for people. I like part of it was I was exploring, to be fair, right? So yeah, I'm not complaining.
Okay, so you went in right away to the various places and explored?
I actually no, I did one of the events. I maybe didn't do all the tiers though, or something. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
you
what's
don't
confusing
understand that
about
at
it.
first.
That's what's confusing because you could do the first tier and be like, "Cool, I'm done," and then it's like
I think
another
I might have.
containment.
I was like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go to the gardens.
like if you didn't get a chest that gave you a weapon or something,
Yeah.
then you didn't complete it all the way through.
I might
And-
have, but
Yeah, because you do have to do 3 of them, and you fight a boss, and it, whole thing about it. Which,
yeah.
there's definitely
You
some
get the
confusion
chest.
on there, but I like it though. Like I hear what you're saying about how like it's weird that they make you go do these public events.
It's
in
a
there.
requirement. That's all I'm getting
Right.
at. I'm not gonna, just to be clear for people out there moaning like, dude, you can't even do a couple public events. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying I don't like that they gated a particular number of basically public events. It's the new event right now,
hmm
just to let you go play that weekly mission. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
doesn't, other than introducing you to like the vibe, it seems unnecessary to me. That's all.
Yeah.
I like getting right into the weekly mission. Like if that's my business, right? I paid for the season. I might want to just do that and come back and grind.
Yeah, you
out,
want to see
explore later.
Aldrin, it's harass Crow like Briar.
That's right.
He wants to
Right
see
away.
that, and he couldn't see that, man.
I do want to see that.
I think I actually really liked what they did with that area and bringing the Leviathan back as a derelict ship and all spooky and haunted and stuff, and like taking those. What they did. What was the previous mission that was all spooky? I can't remember the exact name of it, but that
Glycon?
Yeah, the Glycon. Yeah, that type of aesthetic and thing.
Oh yeah.
And brought that forward into the Leviathan, and then we know exactly if you've been playing Destiny, you know the Leviathan, so you can find your way around immediately. Like that was actually really cool. I thought that was awesome. I really appreciated that, and I like how there is lots to. It feels like there's lots to explore. I didn't explore it fully, so I don't know. Maybe there's not very much, and I'm just short-sighted on it.
Yeah,
or
I
something
don't
like that.
think it's the full Leviathan. I didn't get the impression
It's
that
not
it was
yet.
full Leviathan.
Not yet.
Well, you can go
don't
to
know
a
how
few
they'll change.
places. I mean, I went to the
You
pleasure
can go to
gardens.
the gardens,
I popped
dogs,
the
Pleasure
chest there.
gardens and the pools.
Yeah.
the pools.
But
Yeah.
you remember how there was that whole like all those secret tunnels and everything.
Oh yeah.
But
That's
The switches.
part
the-
of the
seemed
story
like all
mission.
that was
yeah,
there.
isn't that going to
Okay.
rotate? Like, so my assumption was that
Yeah.
when the Leviathan was actually here, it would rotate the pacing that would happen. So I assumed that every week it's going to change, same type of thing, right?
It looks like the public event is going to rotate maybe because there was like signs right that maybe it would be in pools, but like it's not happening yet, kind of
Mhm.
thing. And like I think that's
Yeah.
what you'll see is it'll be this time the containment's in dogs, and this time it's
But
in.
also, I just realized what Watts was pointing out is like the actual missions themselves will bring you to those various locations in the Leviathan. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's really cool. I
the mission's
personally
great.
enjoyed that. I think that's a really
Yeah.
cool
That's what
repurposing
I'm saying.
assets.
Put
Yeah.
it right in my veins. That's all I
You
want
want
to
the
do
mission
right
right
away.
away.
Get in there, maybe even run it again,
Yeah.
versus
So,
but whatever.
so
Oh, you
back
can
to
run
the,
it again.
All right though.
yeah,
Hmm?
you can run it again, right?
You can run it again.
Yeah.
Back to the public event though. So like, I enjoyed it, but I did find it confusing. Like you were saying, like you didn't know that you had to do 3 of them to get the full completion, or it wasn't obvious. Also, it's not obvious which one you're supposed to go to. At least for me, it wasn't obvious which node. And then
Yeah.
until I was like, oh, I need to do some containment things. So clearly I need to go to this one and do some containment.
It definitely felt. That's why I keep calling it a public event. It felt like the public event style where they kind of wanted you to just like see what people are doing and try to figure it out without there being much instruction. But I think I'm more on that edgier tone. It sounds like maybe you would have preferred a little more like, hey, go do this part of it. I don't know if you felt that way, but I did. I was also like, wait, what am I doing?
It
right
wasn't that I wanted more
Eventually it comes
instructions
together.
specifically. It was just that it was confusingly laid out, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird thing
Did you
to
think the
describe.
steps are
I
confusing?
didn't
or-
even really understand that it was in a public event until like I saw other people running around, and I'm like, oh, is this like an open world section? And then like, oh, okay, we can trigger these events. We can trigger. There are like what do you call like those little mission guys around that you can.
Yeah.
There
Patrols.
are those.
Yeah,
It took me a
patrols
while
that
to
you can find.
figure out where what I was supposed to be doing here. My only
Basically-
real problem is that I just seem to be RNG locked behind like having this one thing drop, and it's like, what is that? It's like a half an hour long activity to do that. It feels long.
Well, if you're only
Shouldn't be.
if you're doing it by yourself.
Also, it's kind of like it's a mini escalation protocol with like a ton more ads than
Yeah.
escalation protocol had. So being in there and shooting dudes is fun. There's a lot of dudes.
Mhm,
Yeah, to me,
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes.
again, to be clear, like, I didn't find like hopping in and doing it that confusing, but like the nuances of it, you certainly had to
Yeah.
spend some time and keep your eyes open, and like that's just a style. But yeah, it's literally Watch. You're right. It's like sort of a blend of escalation,
Yeah.
protocol, and last season, the launch of Witch Queens. What was the main event called? But just that super bombastic style of like tons of ads, and then you get the
scythe,
relic item.
Oh, I am
and
camping that scythe.
Yeah,
Every
so it's-
time I see it, I want it.
It's a lot of
Fun note about the scythe. That people may not have realized. If you put the mod on your helmet and you're using a solar subclass where it's rapid weapon final blows with the weapon matching your subclass type makes an orb, you can make orbs with the scythe.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
That's a
It's a
lot of
solar
orbs
weapon.
because
Yeah.
ka-ching, ka-ching,
Ground pound.
lots of flames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like having those relics. Those are super fun. Like in Witch Queen, in the what's the event called again? I'm blanking right now.
I don't know.
The well or the other one?
Not Wellspring, the other one. Yeah, it's funny. My brain just went straight to this new season. I
Oh, the
just
PsyOps.
wiped.
The
Yeah,
PsyOps
PsyOps.
Battlegrounds?
Thank
Yeah.
you. But in PsyOps, like as soon as you got the spear and started throwing it, at
Yeah.
Savathun's, memory or whatever. It was so much fun. I had the same reaction with the scythe, and that was the best part about it. I was like, this is cool. The animation, the particle effects, the work done to make it feel like powerful was awesome.
Yeah,
But-
that was badass.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say about containment is it's because it is so bombastic, because they now have added Solar 3.0 and everything explodes and Void explodes. There's so much going on. It almost, I don't know, I do like it, but it's getting a little like, it's like when you've been at the concert for a while. It's just like a
sensory
numbing,
overload.
like, yeah, like it doesn't have as much pace because it is like an open public explosive thing. And that's why I tend to like the sort of moving forward strike based events.
I don't know. I
and-
like the
you know.
craziness. Again, for me, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I know some people are complaining about just the event itself and like not liking what it has to offer, but I enjoyed it. I think it's fine. I think it'll be fun to jump in and just casually do these, escalation protocol style things.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's more though. This is kind of what I was getting at. You know, back with Season of the Splicer, like I liked, we had Override as well as the other one.
Right.
Well, I think that's why with the weekly story mission probably comes into play in a similar way where you have the kind of this escalation protocol experience, and then you get consumables from that to get more loot from the weekly story mission. You can go run the story mission again, and I think it's kind of that loop that's going on at the moment.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to rotate as well. Like you said, you want some changes in there. Like I think because
I don't want it to be the mechanic as the last boss for the next 8 weeks or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a different bosses.
Yeah, I'm assuming different bosses in different locations each week, or like 3. You know, because wasn't it 3 with Leviathan? I'm just assuming that they're going to do that.
Was it the Coliseum where you ran around in a circle on the Leviathan? Was that the name of that area?
That is in the story mission.
Yeah, that's in the story mission. God damn! I'm so mad. I'm just sitting here like locked, like waiting to get into the story mission.
So it's
see, Brian, that's what I'm talking about.
That
right?
area.
Yeah.
So you wish you could just go to it fast, right?
Yeah. I mean, or at least like, okay, you did
just say it.
You did this twice. Give me the fucking thing so I can move on instead of just like.
Yeah.
That would make it more enjoyable for you. Exactly.
I do also love that it's a patrol space. Like that you can run around and I get so distracted. I get an opulent key that tells me to go to the pools. I go to the pools and then I'm like, there's dudes to kill. I must kill all the dudes. And I'm just having a bunch of fun, like picking up the patrols and killing all dudes. And then there's like hidden guys as well. So there's hidden enemies to kill in certain parts. And that's fun. I like.
Yeah. The chest thing's kind of neat. Gets you to
I always
explore.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like, even though I kind of know the way, like I get lost like right away. I'm like, wait a minute. Which way is the pools? Like, it's going to take a while to get that back.
Yeah,
after all this time.
Yeah, I think the concept of bringing back a previous zone, revamping it for this haunted, spooky stuff, and making a patrol thing, I actually really like. I think that's awesome. So
yeah, and I will
like
say that
Alice's like robotic dead body again. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that part. And also having Callus's voice and stuff within there. Is really cool.
Yeah,
he's been one of my favorites. What did you guys think of the new solar subclasses?
As a hunter, I'm having a blast.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. Hunter
what do they do with Hunter?
Ass.
Can you explain it? Because I've been only playing Warlock because I'm a Warlock man.
Yeah, I've only been playing Titan.
So hunters have a new dodge called acrobats dodge, sorry. And you do that's the thing we saw in the trailer where you did the flip and you like slam the knife down, which looks really cool and makes you feel cool because you're flipping around and that makes you radiant. So with Solar 3.0, there's a bunch of these different terms that do different things. And radiant is where your weapons do more damage. So you can do the flip, you get to do more damage. So that's something new that they added.
It explodes out, right? So you can buff your teammates with radiant.
You can buff your teammates,
Nice.
And then there's also like fragments where if you make your teammates radiant or cure or whatever, you get to have something happen. So there's some interesting loops there.
Yeah, and they added and they changed up like the nades and then the special nade or whatever I forget what the name.
Yeah,
of it is.
so it's called Gunpowder Gamble.
Yes,
which is really fun. It's really fun. So you have to kill things just with solar stuff. So you can even just use a solar weapon. Using a solar SMG, you get it like instantly all the time. There's a small cooldown on it, so you can't just like constantly have it up. But it's a very short cooldown. But it changes your grenade to this new Gunpowder Gamble, which is where you can throw it and shoot it. And they made it super easy to shoot. So you can just do it. I've done it with like a glaive shot, which felt really cool because you throw it in there and a glaive shot, and that was really fun. And you still keep your grenade. So after you're done with the Gunpowder Gamble, you still will have your grenade charge. It doesn't use a grenade charge or anything like that.
Yeah, so it's meant to be the idea. The coolest part about it is the idea of like throwing the stick of dynamite in the air and then and it's a massive, big explosion, like 25k plus type damage on a bunch of enemies. Or if you don't shoot it, you can actually stick it to things. I think it sticks to enemies even. I forget. But you can just stick it in an area and it will detonate like shortly after as well. And it's a pretty massive explosion.
Yeah, so besides that, you also have knock 'em down, which is an aspect that basically just makes your supers better. Like Golden Gun has increased duration, Marksman you get more damage resistance and a duration, and then Blade Barrage just has more blades,
More blade.
which is it's made Blade Barrage
Did they
pretty
fix it?
great.
You know how
Pretty
like it
awesome.
was kind of RNG before? Did they fix some of that?
Yeah, so they also added a fragment where it makes your projectiles track
More
better.
accurate.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
you get more
Mhm.
projectiles and they track better with this fragment. So yeah, there's some cool stuff that you can do. And then you also do have the same thing of like precision final blows give you increased handling and reload speed for you and your teammates. And then when you activate your class ability, you immediately get max stacks.
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool. I'll say in PvP, if you have acrobat dodge and like Ace of Spades or Rampage on a 120, you will two shot. That's how you
Mm.
can get a two shot.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Yeah, and I
that's
think
the
the other
thing.
last part of it too, right, is the nades build not singe. Then they ignite. Scorch, yeah. So it's basically scorching stacks. Your nades, different types of that fire will build up to the point they ignite, which I believe staggers them. And then there's a couple loops in there where you can actually cause it ignition, like with your knife, for example.
Mm.
So you can cause it and like it'll stagger them. So you could, and there's a way to like get your knife back by dodging close, obviously, and you can loop stuff like that. Is kind of interesting. I haven't gotten very good at it yet,
Cool.
but it feels okay, I guess. Yeah.
Sounds like Hunter
Very cool.
got some of the best kit out
I
of Solar.
think Hunter. So we don't fully know for sure just yet because a few of the fragments are just kind of busted.
Yeah.
Like as in they don't work. Not busted as an OP. Like they just don't work. And I think one of them is the healing fragment that's like really important for if you want to make a healing build or aspect, whatever
Yeah.
it is. I think that's just not working.
Oh,
So
really?
we'll have to see how they end up being when they can get this fixed. And then if we have time with it after it's got fixed and it still feels underwhelming, then I'm sure they can
Okay.
buff it up.
Briar, how'd you feel about the Titan?
So with Void, this is Void 3.0, right? 3.0?
3.0.
I like for some reason with Void 3.0, like my build kind of just worked right off the gate. I had to do very little tweaking. Like you could just kind of like, okay, what are the abilities? What are the aspects? What are the fragments? Oh yeah, look at this. This is gonna work great. I'm just constantly like meleeing, grenading, shield throwing, and it just kind of is all cascading and constantly giving me the abilities back again. With Solar, I was a little more like I'm still like kind of like staring at this thing. Like, how does this really like kind of make me like the juggernaut that Void does? One of the cool things about it is it has this new aspect called consecration, where if you slide in toward an enemy and then hit melee, you kind of send out this like big wave of energy.
Yeah.
And then you also leap in the air and then you come down and you hit melee again, you come down and you ignite it. And that's how you kind of get your stuff going. And it's really fun to do. Like, I can get like, I can get more solar energy, or I'm sorry, I can get more super energy. I can get more grenade energy with ignitions. But I haven't found that like synergistic build yet that is like really making me go, oh my God, yes, this is the power fantasy that I'm looking for the Sunbreaker, I'm sure it'll come. Maybe I find it. Maybe I find a video that has it, but I haven't found it. It hasn't been obvious to me like Void 3.0 was.
Yeah, Void feels more powerful to me still, but again, I haven't really built into it enough, and it's like day one effectively for me still.
Sure,
so.
yeah.
But Void right away felt pretty freaking.
I think that's the
powerful.
problem
as
that
a
I'm
hunter, you
having.
can go invis, so.
Yeah,
for
that's the
a
problem
long
I'm
time.
having is that with Void, it was obvious right away. There was like clearly this is a major rework that's like shaping the way you're going to play. As a Warlock, I did not have that same fuzzy feeling. It just kind of felt like a reshuffling of what I already had, and maybe even worse. And I don't really know all the finer details of what like got possibly nerfed or anything like that. There is this snap, and
Yeah, how's the snap?
It looks cool.
so
What's it do again?
Does look
visually
cool.
it's badass. Visually you're like, boom, get lit, like awesome, right? And it sends out, I think,
Get
like
lit.
5 literally get lit. Comes back
what
quick,
it's
and
doing.
you're snapping, and you're lighting things on fire, which is awesome. It does have limited range, which, you know, it's a melee, so it should have limited range. But it's kind of one of those things where I guess I was expecting, you know, the palm projectiles from before. Like I expected those to expected them to just track and go out infinitely, you know, but they don't. So there's a limited range in there. But they do seem to be pretty decent if like you're building towards that whole solar stuff, which I'll be honest, I don't fully know how to do just yet correctly as a warlock. And I did halfway through feel like I'd rather play Void. So I ended up switching back to Void for when I was doing some of these public events, and I was like, this is just I'm surviving everything and killing everything. You know, so
What's the well like now? What's the change with it?
I don't know what the change was. I don't remember.
Okay.
It didn't feel that much different for me. Like I used it in Nightfall. I used it, yeah, basically Nightfall type of stuff, and it was fine. Was staying alive, but I wasn't doing high level type of stuff. So like you said, this is real early stuff. So I didn't.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they got rid of Overshield.
Oh, they got rid of the
I've heard
Overshield.
people talking about it a lot. Like I haven't, you know, I don't play multiple characters anymore.
Interesting. I wasn't dying in the well, but you know, losing an Overshield does suck. So there's that. But I definitely didn't feel like I was struggling inside the well or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of underwhelming. Like, really cool to see the snap. I like that. I like the whole reworking of what the, you know, lighting things on fire and the radiance and all that stuff. I think that's cool, but definitely not the same loving feeling of the Void. The Void 3.0 like set a high mark. You know?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
did.
too early to say, but it's probably a good thing that we can't have everything come out and be just like super duper OP. It takes away, but it also, like, as we all keep like adding the asterisk to what we're saying, we're like, but I haven't had time to blank.
Yeah,
you
it's
know? And I
really
think
it's been 2
we're
days,
getting
right?
there.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not all the aspects are not out. You know, we haven't.
Fragments
got our
are broken.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
actually,
early
hold up.
to
I do
say.
want to point out. So Darkstorm in chat, he said, no, they neutered Bottom Tree Dawnblade. No more super extension on kills and Phoenix Dive and is ability class now. I noticed that, and I definitely felt it. So when I was doing regular Dawnblade, I felt like it just went away so quick in comparison to before, where I could just kind of chain and feel like I had it going for a while. And then the fact that you have to use up your class ability for the dive now, I don't know how I feel about that, because like dropping a puddle is so like warlock, you know? It's like that's what you do, like drop a rift. I need some health, you know? And now you have
Yeah.
to choose between whether or not you want to, you know, do this cosmic dive that gives you health. It's a weird choice.
I did say that, like, you know, when we were doing a GCX thing where we were warlocks for a really long time, my enjoyment of warlock came from Bottom Tree Dawnblade, and I was like, I'm so glad that I wasn't like, you know what, I'm gonna be a Bottom Tree Dawn main and all of that, because you kind of that playstyle doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
Even if you say that, yeah, you can dodge, you can do the dodge and in air, and you can do the slam down.
True.
You have the option of both, which is cool and a lot of movement. But I would constantly just like spam the aerial dive, and it wasn't OP or anything. It's just it was a play style that I found really enjoyable.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't be able to do now.
Yeah. So I don't know. As a warlock, I kind of give it a C. But again, it's early, so I don't. Maybe some other stuff is going to get released throughout the season that's going to make it significantly better.
Sounds like Borlock.
Borlock.
No, just I think it's too early.
Again, I do need to underscore the fact that Void 3.0 was incredible out the gate. It was a huge, significant upgrade that made you go, wow, this is some new that I haven't seen in Destiny in a while.
Yeah.
I feel like the Titan Sunbreaker is going to give me that cool feeling too. The consecration aspect is so damn cool that like it's just a matter of like figuring out how I have to, the order in which I have to repeat these steps and the fragments I have to have on to actually like, because I feel like everything is got the slow recharges now. So if you like if you're not built right and you don't have like these, like you're kind of like your order of operations mapped out and you're not sticking to that, like if you miss a grenade and that doesn't charge your melee, and then so that takes longer to because you rely on your melee hitting, your charge melee hitting to get your grenade going. Like, and if you like fall out of that cycle now, these cooldowns are long, they're 2 minutes long, and all of a sudden you're just like standing there with a machine gun. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
like I like it. I like how they kind of keep you in this loop. But if you don't know what that loop is yet, then
Yeah.
it takes a
But
little
yeah,
time.
yeah, I think that's why in the long run, maybe that's for the better. Like it gives you a little time to build in and get used to, as opposed to just like with Void, everything started to explode and
just
with
felt like
Hunter,
Void
and
was
Invis
obvious.
and yeah.
Like Void, I understood it right away. Solar, I don't know. Maybe like the things being broken, like if the healing is broken, because I think I might have spec'd into some healing and didn't really notice it. So that could be it too. I don't know.
Well,
Needs more
the
testing.
scorching and igniting too. It's like there's two different states, and you got to kind of figure out like, you got to figure that out. It reminds me a little bit of Anthem, how there was like,
Yeah, baby.
Priming and detonating.
like priming and detonating. Yeah,
which is
Yeah.
which I
Void
liked
as
a
well.
lot.
Status bars.
I mean, but we don't have to talk about that gaming classic right now.
Well,
Anthem?
I'll say that
All day.
hunters with Solar 3.0 now have the most damaging super in the game.
That's good.
Yep, you use Star Eater scales, also known as fishy pants, as they should be known.
Fishy
And
pants.
you use Blade Barrage with Knock 'em Down, which makes your Blade Barrages have more projectiles, and you do a lot of damage.
Too much damage?
Insane.
Gonna get nerfed soon damage?
People were
Hope
doing
not, because
testing.
last time, like, Star Eater scales came out, they're like, oh, it does so much damage, look at that, and it was like, no, stop it. So hopefully
I think
not.
I saw some of the numbers on Reddit that someone who tested it looked pretty high versus the other stuff that it would look like maybe it would be, brought down in line. But it's a bit early.
I
But
hope
also
not, because you have to get your
get all the
super,
orbs,
and then you
yeah.
have to get 8 orbs to
Yeah.
like fully stack those things to do that amount of damage.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a fine enough investment to keep it around.
That's true. And Star Eater was always kind of like that anyway. Like, it was really good, but you constantly be like, well, I don't know if I'm going to get enough orbs that fast when I need them. That is it worth it? So it's kind of still specialized in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right about that. Yeah.
There's
be
a lot
fine.
to do to get that damage. So.
Yeah, Watson and I tried real fast before the show. We're trying to make a bunch of orbs. I felt like it was going okay, but you really got to put a lot of mods on now.
It's hard to tell in that activity specifically because your damage ramps up when you grab the nightmare balls. So if you don't have any, you're gonna do less damage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hard test case. But yeah, you can take out one of those things by yourself. One of the chonky boys.
I think this is a lesson to temper expectations, because I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see Solar, and then it's like, well, it's a change, and then I'm learning I should temper for Arc 3.0. Just be pleasantly surprised.
It's gonna be crazy, Taffy. It's gonna be the best subclass you've ever seen of all subclasses. It's gonna make Anthem look like shit.
All right. Sign me up.
I did not see
This
that.
is
That was a
the
great
Anthem
setup.
killer
Buddy.
you've been looking for.
That was good.
Yes, the great Anthem killer.
Beautiful. Oh man, how
Been
dare
needing
you.
something to kill Outriders. Come on, guys.
There's
So-
with the story and stuff, there's
Yeah.
some very interesting stuff going on. So
There
when you
is,
get one of
yeah.
these opulent keys, this one broke my heart. Almost
Yeah,
actually
Watson said she was
cried reading
crying when I
Destiny
came
lore.
by it earlier.
Legitimately almost cried down to Destiny lore. So there's when you get a key for the pleasure gardens, and it says it's by like a loyal companion or something. You go there and you open a chest, and it's underneath a war beast, a puppy. And Callus comes over the stereo system or whatever and says, "Oh yeah, I killed this motherfucker. Oh yeah, that boy, I killed him," basically. And there's lore in the game that delves into that a little bit more. And essentially, so Caitlyn is
With a C.
Callus's daughter. With a C.
Mhm.
Is Callus's daughter. And, he was a busy working man and he couldn't be there for his kid as much. So he spent a lot of money on her and got her like a bunch of help and people to hang out with her. And he
Sweet
bought
armor.
this puppy called Milos. Bought a puppy for her. And she spent every waking moment with that puppy. It even says that, I can feel him like breathing on me, and we slept together and we ate together and we did everything together. And Callus didn't like this because he felt that Caitlin was loving the puppy more than him. So he got one of their servants to kill her puppy. And the servant, the lore actually says that the servant comes in and she gives the news, like this letter to Caitlin, that says, I had to kill him. I had to get rid of him. Here's why. And the servant starts crying as well. So Caitlin knew that the servant had to do the deed. And it's just, that was awful. Terrible.
Fatherhood is hard. You gotta make those tough decisions.
Putting
My
down
God.
a puppy. You love
I
that.
was just
You
like,
love that dog more than me.
yeah. That's what he did. That's what he did. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. I was not
Sounds
prepared.
like Callus is a little mentally unstable.
A little bit.
Let's not get crazy.
There was a lore book that came out that goes into Sophia, which is Zavala's wife and the person or nightmare that's haunting him. And this was really interesting because honestly, just from reading this one lore book, I love her. She seems awesome. So she's like working in this hospital and taking care of all of the wounded. And Zavala comes up and he's like, I'm a guardian and I help the people. I'm a man of the people. And she's like, no, the people come to me when they need help. You show up, you cause chaos, and you leave. And then the people, the wounded, are left with me and I look after them. And there was kind of this really interesting moment where it seemed that Zavala kind of changed his thoughts about maybe what a guardian is and saw what she was doing to actually look after people. And this is, I guess, the first time they kind of met. So she takes Zavala through tending to the wounds of people and actually putting in work to really help the people that he thinks he was helping so much. And there was one line where she said, it's not just the fallen, it's not just warlords, it's sickness, starvation, and cold. And she's like, that's what I see. You see, these wars and these battles, but I see people struggling every day. So that was a really interesting lore piece that made me love her because she was just like, no, ma'am. I am the one that is for the people. You get up here, you kill a bunch of dudes, you run away.
Pop your bubble in the corner.
Pop your bubble and
Never
then
leave
it's
it.
bad and breaks. Anyway, bubble ride. And then there was also some interesting, there was another lore injection about Eris and Crow, which was really sweet because Eris used to be a hunter. And Crow was like, did you ever try and get your light back? Like, is that a thing you ever tried to do? And she said, no, I think it's best that I like move on from that. And he pops a golden gun and Eris is like holding the trigger as well. And they're just shooting golden guns into the sky because she hasn't
great.
had that light experience for so long. And that was really cute. I was like, that's really nice. And she was teaching him
Yeah.
about keeping a fire in situations where you can't just go and get more wood, that you have to, work to survive.
Mm-hmm.
There's been really cool stuff. We've had a Praxic Warlock and a Praxic Titan teaming up with Elixni and Legionnaires and storming the underbelly of the Leviathan together.
Yeah. Pretty well set. There was also that the radio thing after the mission.
Yes.
Right? With Amanda.
Ooh,
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
So was there a little something going on or just friends?
I thought that too. I don't know.
She kept saying friend, but it seemed like the hurt that she held for that was more
deeper.
than
Yeah.
friend. Yeah. A bit deeper of a connection.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely left it ambiguous, but it definitely felt like it's deeper than they were just friends. Like she was really relying on him or helping him, I guess. And then he was relying on her, and she felt super betrayed and doesn't know if she can trust him again because he didn't reveal the fact that he knew his memories and stuff.
Yeah.
And then she hit him with that zinger about like how you actually, she's like, I am your friend. And she's like, no, you killed my friend, Cade. It was like,
I know when she said that, I was like, oh,
damn.
Yeah, I did the It's like, oh
Sheesh.
snap!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that was deep.
Yeah.
That was a deep cut.
So-
Yeah, it seems to be setting her up. Actually, we haven't seen too much of Amanda in the
Yeah.
story. I
Haven't.
was thinking maybe
silent,
they're
yeah.
setting up the okay, we're gonna use her for sure in the future seasons. Like I don't know what that'll look like, but
Mhm.
it seems like maybe.
Yeah,
SRL.
there's a real just really well storytelling of the things, the trauma that humans go through and dealing with that trauma.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Be excited to
As
see
we
what
go along in
unfolds.
this game, I feel like it's less black and white. It's less
Mhm.
about light and dark, and it's more about the grays in between. And it's much more interesting when it explores those areas.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Destiny 1 started out so black and white. Like, you're the good guys. You got the light. This is the darkness. You have free reign to murder all of them. And then it's,
There's something to be said for that, though. Sometimes it's just fun to kill Nazis because you don't have to feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just want to fucking not have to think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. You just want to go out there and fucking be the good guy.
so you started
You know?
blasting, right?
Well, I think that's actually
That's
kind
so
of
blast.
the thing that the lore entry with Zavala was saying, right? Is that you just kind of go along and you beat the bad guys, and I'm the good guy. I saved the city, and she's like, not so much.
Yeah.
You leave a lot behind that you're not helping with.
She's like, the city's busted. And you ain't fixing
Yeah, the
it.
city ain't having a good time.
Yeah. Also, it's been like 5 years and the tower still isn't rebuilt.
Whoever's on that job is not working
The
hard.
same
so.
crane is just
I think it's time to readjust management on that project.
it's because they keep making them redesign for every event.
Oh,
It's
they're one of
Halloween,
those.
and then it's the Dawning, and then it's the
True.
Guardian games. They're like they got them overworked, man. You have to start a union and put a stop to this. That's what I think.
Also, not great safety conditions, even with the ghosts. I mean,
No.
people are dropping off of that tower constantly. OSHA, not there.
Yeah.
And we saw literally a broken ghost right at the beginning of the season, just on the floor, sitting there.
Yeah.
True.
We are not immortal.
That's not good.
It's really falling
Yeah.
apart.
Oh my god, there's so much lore that's just like so heartbreaking and heartwarming. There's like a piece from Glint where he's like, no, he's Crow, he's a good guy, he's not Aldrin, it's not the same, and he's just so adorable. Glint is such
Keep
a
telling
cutie
yourself
pie.
that.
He's a sweetie pie. We want the best for him. And then Eris also names her ghost, which I can't remember which lore that was on. But
Oh, really?
Eris talks about her ghost. It was probably the one with Crow, actually. That would make sense.
Hmm.
Where she tells us about her ghost, and she said that, losing the ghost is, you have to think of it as this is like the ghost giving me my final kind of life, and I have to cherish that. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh man, so
You've just chosen
Okay.
hard mode. Don't waste
yeah,
it.
it's just
Yeah.
hard mode now. It's just hard mode.
Oh, also, we saw the return of what's the name of that big ass helmet that's at the helm now? That
Yeah.
was
The Crown of
raid boss.
Sorrow.
Crown of
Oh, yeah.
Sorrow.
Yes, the Crown of
Yeah.
Sorrow. I thought that was a fun callback. I
Mhm.
like to see that big ass crown sitting there again after we'd been crawling all up in it after we beat that raid.
Yeah. Well, also how they made it so Eris is directly connected to it now. Like she's harnessed its
Yeah,
power
Yeah.
and all that. And yeah, that's cool.
She has a seance and everything.
Uh-huh.
She does.
yeah.
Yes, all
That
doing
cutscene
a
was
Ouija
cool.
board.
Yeah, really cool.
Very cool.
I'm really liking the seasonal tone of the story and where things are going.
Me
Yeah, I
too.
feel like
Yeah.
they got the story in a really good place. Definitely on the event side, it's like I feel like we've just done a lot of what's there. It's fine, but I think to keep people's attention, I'm hoping that probably what happened was, they're like, I guess I didn't say it more clearly. This season, I think so far is off to like an okay start. The story stuff's
Mhm.
the best part about it. I think the events, like, it's okay for me personally so far, and going back to an old area that's got a new coat of paint, like interesting, but we've seen, I think, more interesting seasons. But that's fair because they just put like a massive amount of work into, the new 3.0s and launching the Witch Queen and getting this new big trilogy started. So I for me, it's expected, and for the value of the content you get, I think it's totally fine. But I'm hoping next season to see a little more.
Well, so
Throughout the last few years, we've seen more experimentation. In other words, with the events,
Right.
I'm hoping to start getting a bit more of
expansion on
that
that.
again.
So we do have a dungeon coming tomorrow. That's something that we can't talk
Yes.
about. So our perspective on
Well,
the
you
first
just
week.
blew it. You did.
Right, and just blew it. It's happening. Our
Surprise.
perspective, our perspective for first week of the season is skewed at the moment because like we don't have that dungeon. The dungeon could be really sick. Hopefully it
We don't
is.
have the dungeon.
But
yeah.
I
We
do
don't have
agree.
Iron
Sure,
Man.
I'll love it.
I want to say I do agree that for like just jumping in 1 day, 2 days, aside from collecting some loot and maybe exploring the Leviathan a bit, I feel you on that. It doesn't feel like, oh man, there's just an insane amount to do right now. It's kind of like, okay, this is what it is. You know,
Yeah,
go
I
do
will
my
say that
pinnacles. All right.
I normally kind of fall off of PvE stuff very, very quickly, but this event, the kind of mini escalation protocol stuff, I enjoy running around.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's because I got this shotgun today. It's the
Mm.
one that you get from it's the new shotgun, and it's got a perk called Incandescent, where when you defeat a target, it spreads Scorch to those nearby. So you're just running around and you just kill the ads with the shotgun, and it's just scorch, explosions, and that feels
That's cool.
super fun, and that plays into my subclass. So there's been some interesting perks on these new guns that do play into Solar 3.0.
That is interesting. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, running
Yeah.
around and killing a bunch of ads and just explosions with your shotgun is pretty great.
Yeah. I
That's
will
cool.
say with the Warlock in the snap, like that's what
Yeah.
that is. When they're basic ads, like they all just die. You know,
Yeah.
it's 5 of them, they all die and explode and all that. So that is really satisfying. And they could be pretty close, and as long as you don't hit the melee on them by accident, you'll hit the snap and they'll just poof. Which is really cool.
Yeah, there's some fun, definitely some fun weapons with fun perks. Obviously there's a bunch of more weapons to craft. You get the beloved
Yeah.
back, the Offstringer.
I need to point out, people in chat are saying that dungeons sold separately, and true. It is sold separately. It's
Exactly.
not part of the
It
season
is sold
technically.
separately, yeah.
Like if you own the season,
Rolled out in
you
this
still,
season, though.
yeah,
Or it
it's
is.
still
It's just
exactly.
not-
Yeah, my viewpoint is that it's rolled out in this season, and that's when we're getting it. So as someone who has purchased, you know, the deluxe to get access to everything except for that freaking Solstice of Heroes ticket, I look at it all as part of the seasonal stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's a good point to make from a purchase standpoint. They're different, and then that even goes into what you own from Witch Queen and Beyond Light, and how that extends. But like from an experiential side, like this is what's happening right
Yeah.
now. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have it all.
it's
But,
confusing. But it is
confusing.
confusing. Like if you try to explain to someone who's new, they're going to be like, "What? Like,
Yeah.
what do I have to buy?" This is and also there's
It's
some
definitely-
bugs recently too. Like I was playing with memes, and she couldn't access some of the seasonal content, and I was like, "What the hell? She's on my main PS5. She should have access to the content. Like she has access to Witch Queen and the deluxe edition and all that stuff, but she doesn't have access to the season stuff because the licensing got all screwed up." And I was like,
Oh yeah, licensing.
"Man." This happened on the Xbox too, where it wouldn't let certain things work, and then I don't know, it was frustrating. I mean, I could just buy it again, but you know, it's the principle, man. It should work. So, anyways,
What did you guys? How was your feeling on the plus 100 vault once you got hold of it?
super thankful.
Yeah,
I'm already
Yeah.
filling it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like up to 520 already, and very happy about it.
I was at the point where I thought to continue playing Destiny, I was going to have to just delete my entire vault, and that day still may come because the inventory management is just so oppressive to me that I just like it keeps me from wanting to play the game. Like I'm just like I don't want to deal with having to fucking move all that shit around and start figuring out like what do I need to delete and shit. So I'm just gonna go play something else instead because I got no room. So this is a like temporary reprieve. I was able to just play and enjoy and collect shit and not have to worry about it. But that day is still coming.
Yeah.
Or I think it'd be good to just delete everything because like
That's what I think too. I think that's gonna be.
It's still ongoing though, right? And that's I was curious if you guys like it even needed it, if you cared. For me, it was
Definitely
the same
need
as
it, yeah.
prior. I needed it to like jump in without the job. Like gear management is a job, and
Yeah.
I'm always harping on it. It's not the vault size. Yes, there's a lot of commentary on like how many things we have, how many things can you store across 3 characters, and totally that's one side of it. Like if you physically can't even save one of everything, like maybe you should have
Time
stuck
to
with some
delete.
sunsetting as well. By the way, I know that's a touchy subject, but when we're seeing the effects of just like, you know what, we're not going to sunset, and it's really that between, red frame, crafting stuff is a pain. But anyway, gear management is the big thing, and that's the biggest thing that I said it last time I was on the show, so I just want to repeat it. We need a tool set or a stepped process of like, you got a weapon, and I always say, like, do you have a duplicate? Like, what do I have to do to figure that out? I got to open up DIM, or I got to go back to the vault, and the vault hasn't seen any changes. No filters, no search bar. It's
limited
lacking.
filters, right? Yeah.
And it's crazy how polished Destiny is. So
Yeah.
obviously we can see where their resources went to. And I just think as a community, if it bothers you, some people don't care, but if it does, I think you should speak up more. I don't think.
But
It's
they've
the
already
gear
said
management.
though that like Chris Proctor was on the podcast saying that he would like they would all love to have a thing where you can save builds and you can compare stuff and like this stuff for dealing with making builds and all of that. It's just they can't make everything at once.
He said
So
that they're
they've
working
already
on that.
said
Exactly.
they want that.
No, he said
But
he
it
said
has
that
been too long.
he said the saving builds and all that it's coming, but he said you can't give a date or anything because
Yeah.
development.
And what's funny for me, saving builds is I would love it in the game. I want everything, that's my big thing. I always want it in the game. Everybody's always like, "We'll just use DIM," and I'm like, "You want me? I'm in like the end of the activity, and I just got that shotgun that Watts talked about, and I just want to see if I got incandescent on it. That's it, and I would be done if I could just do it right there. That's like one example of it's about the gear management, so it doesn't end up in your vault, and that it doesn't fill up your character, so stuff goes to your postmaster. And then the other thing I realized hopping into this season with the vault space is because it is so much about the job of like, take the 10 minutes. You got to like go through your loot. And like, if you don't, it piles up. But it's the infusion, man. I really would love to see a solution I realize I'm saving so many things that I don't want to keep in the vault. It must be like 50, things sometimes across all the slots because I'm like, I might go into the dungeon and want to mix up my builds.
Right.
And I end up like, I have pieces sitting there that's 1555 or whatever that I might need, but I might not. So why not come up with a solution for that so it doesn't take up our vault? So I would love to see some change. I don't think it's
a lot of my vault kind of suffers from that symptom too.
me.
Like keeping stuff and wanting to just in case I have to infuse or something like that.
But think about that. How many you probably have a lot that like it's not even about the rolls. It's just sitting there because you might infuse it, and then
actually, you know what happens for me?
Or I might have infused it when the current power level was like 1400.
That's right.
I just forgot about it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Actually, a bigger problem for me is holding on to weapon rolls of things that you can't get anymore from like a certain event or something. Like I end up keeping those because I'm like, well, there might be a roll from that's going to be semi-decent, and I might need that particular solar weapon for this whatever thing. So I'm like, I should hold on to something like that. So it's not like I'm just randomly keeping junk. I think that's what a lot of people think. They're like, oh, you have 500? What are you just keeping all the blues in there or something?
Yep.
Like, no. I have kept stuff for reasons.
Yeah. And it's the wieldiness of doing it. Like everybody creates the stigma that you're hoarding, just do it. But one, it's a job, and there's not a lot of good tools to make it easy unless you go outside the game. So I just, I think there's a ton that could be done, but I would just like to see, again, something super small. One, solve in like this infusion problem. I don't know if it's a problem for everybody, so I'm assuming, but if it's taking up a lot of players' vault space, then turn it into some other currency. And then two, step one, I got a drop. Just let me see the other ones that I have. I don't know how hard.
What was fixing?
Like,
what was fixing the first thing for me before was when they made vendors drop on power. Drops for you. So I was like, well, I don't have to keep stuff because I know I could just go get something from a vendor. Then they removed that. And I was like, well, now I got to hoard things just in case for leveling. So, yeah.
So hopefully we see some changes sooner than later, but otherwise it will fill up if you don't do your job, and then you'll be stressed out. And unfortunately, it does bring me to the point that I'm like, I'm done for tonight. I'm going to move on. I just don't feel like, part of it is I'm streaming, to be fair, and I just don't feel like managing my vault.
Yeah, you don't want to delete stuff on
So that's that's my own problem. But
no, that's how I was too.
I think there's probably a lot you could delete.
There is, but that's the thing, Watson. That's what I'm saying. Tons I can delete. I'm not spending an hour doing it. I want to play the game. That's the problem I have with it.
Well, I'll say it took me about 2 minutes to make 100 spaces, and I'm having a great time.
I definitely would not be able to make 100 spaces in 2 minutes.
That would
unless I literally didn't look at anything.
Hour and a half, probably.
Like if I literally didn't look at anything, just hold delete, then sure. Yeah, but
no, I looked at stuff.
It is complicated. Again, it depends on how you play. And again, that's why I use the word stigma. I think people stigmatize that you're a hoarder. So people will see that I have like a level 54, whatever, crown husk, by the way. Like, dude, why are you saving it? Because for that build, it pushes me over the top tier mobility. It is the only item I have that has those two stats. Fact. So again, I just would love to see solutions to let you play the way you want to play. You know, the
Easy
idea that
solution.
it's
Easy-
easy. Just
Easy,
delete.
easy solution. Go farm for another one of those. Spend 6 hours farming it. Get a better roll. Then delete that one.
Exactly.
Easy.
The last thing, by the way, I brought this up before, dude. Division came back with another season. They actually added yet again some more like, it's like gear management stuff. But I really think they could take a look at what's done there. But they got a library where you can save like stats effectively.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
really not perfect but interesting system. And again, even little things like markers on your gear. Let's say you had it for your armor, it'll show like a little carrot to show you actually have a higher piece of armor in your library, in this case, Division. Let's say you had it in your Vault Array. So it would already show you, you're like, wait, I already have something better. So things like that it just speeds
That's
up
nice,
the whole
yeah.
gear management. So stuff like that
Yeah.
is where I'd like to see them just start to push a little harder.
You imagine
because-
if like you looked at a chess piece and was like, this chess piece is the highest mobility out of all your gear.
right away.
Yeah.
What if you knew right away?
Yeah.
Oh,
Little
yeah, I'm
icon
keeping
on
that.
there.
flip
Yeah.
out.
This chess piece has no redeeming qualities. Great, I'll delete it right now.
It tells you the opposite. It tells you, it's
Yeah.
like what Watts was. It's like you're supposed to delete it, please, for the love of God.
I got to the point where I was like, if the armor is below 65, get out.
That's what I did.
Kind of.
I
That's
deleted
kind
everything
of
under 65,
the
yeah.
approach I took, and that I had most of my stuff is armor because it was like, this is a good
Yeah.
roll. I'm gonna hold on to it. This is high. I'm gonna hold on to it. So yeah,
Most
it was.
of my stuff
I
is
just
weapons.
cut a line, 65 and over, or you're out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got rid of the majority of the armor, and then the stuff that I have in there is weapons. Again, it's mostly things from events that you can't do anymore, so it's
Yeah.
not weapons you can collect anymore.
Yeah.
I do
Mine's a
have
lot
some
of
stuff
both.
that I'm hoarding just because I loved it so much, even though I'm not going to ever use it again. I loved it so much that I don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I love to see him work on it. Again, just the last note on that. Like, I'd love to be able to do what you're talking about, Watts. I just can't emotionally and physically. But like there is, again, the gameplay side for real. If I delete that, I now lose my highest mobility, recovery that I have for Crucible. Because and for me, that it doesn't guarantee you just because it's 65 that you have a replacement. So I'm not saying you're doing it wrong. It's just that knowing that I'm losing potential like setups like that is what makes me stop. I'm like, screw it. Every time I put the brakes on, I'm like, wait, but it screws up this top tier build that I have. Well, all that I
Top
have
tier,
after,
but it's level
5.
54.
But it's after 5 years, dude.
Or
So
it's
I'm like, that's the best I
stats are
got.
54.
Get good and grind more, like you said.
Is there anything for the season that we didn't talk about? We talked about the mission, right?
Talked about the mission, new Crucible map.
Oh, I haven't played that
It's
yet.
I haven't
Definitely
played
big.
it yet. What is it?
Ish, big,
Yeah.
big map.
Is it good?
Big map. It's hard to say. Because obviously this map was created for Rift, and we don't have Rift, so I'm kind of waiting to.
Did you actually play it in a game?
with Rift? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wasn't sure
played
if you loaded up
Control
in,
on
like,
it.
Customs.
Definitely very big.
Yeah. Did it go to time?
Like patrol
I've
area
only
big,
played it.
or-
I've only played it once, so
Yeah.
yeah,
it didn't go to time. But yeah, I've only played it once, and I haven't played it for what it was intended for. So, it's kind of hard.
That's
to
what
say.
I'm looking forward to.
How do
Is
you-
it next?
What?
week?
The titles. Titles. What do you guys
Titles?
think about the titles this time around? Because one is Reaper, which is pretty cool.
That is
It's
cool.
not bad.
It's
Am I
pretty
gonna
cool.
get my second title? Or third title?
I was
whatever.
like, it's really fitting that the only title I've ever gone for is Shadow. Although
Mm.
I'm regretting
a
that
good one.
now with Callus being
I
what
only
he
have
is.
chosen and
And then-
Oh, come
now I
on.
want
Give
Reaper.
Callus a break. He's been your friend up till now. He makes a couple of bad decisions. You're
Yeah.
going to abandon him?
He kills one puppy? Come on.
Yeah.
dog killer, man.
Look, who hasn't killed a puppy here? Raise your hand. See? Nobody.
That hasn't, I think. Yeah.
And then we also have the Iron Lord title. Iron Lord's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Lord.
2 titles I'm actually gonna want to get, which hasn't happened to ever.
Yeah, they sound cool. Kind of
Reaper's
want
a
it.
dope title.
Reaper
a
is a
very
dope title. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
want that.
Let's go for all the
try
scary
hard.
ones, by the
Like,
way.
you gotta wear like a black duster coat if you get the Reaper title. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on there?
Oh, by the way, the two coolest titles are basically
They're linked.
around
they're
Saladin, right?
linked.
Because he's the voice of Reaper, and he's an Iron Lord.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So now they just need a title called like Overwatch.
I want one that says like unicorn enthusiast or
RGB master,
yeah.
Mm,
dude.
yeah. Frames, high frames.
That
So
was pretty good.
in terms of PvP, Watts, what's your
Yes.
thoughts? How you feeling about stuff? Because there was some pretty significant changes with airborne type of stuff. There was changes with special
Yeah.
ammo, and we need your cold, hard, honest opinion about the facts of what's happened.
So
Right. You bring
PvP
out the
has
cones.
been
Yeah.
PvP's been fun. There's a lot less Void Titans, which makes me happy because they don't want to play it right now. Because screw those assholes.
'Cause
with
their fun has been
permanent
ruined?
overshield. Hopefully. No, but so just balance wise and using weapons like Trespasser feels amazing in PvP. I think sniping actually feels a little bit better.
Really?
At least it might just be that I was having a good day or a couple good days or something. But sniping just felt a little bit more smooth, consistent. In air accuracy though, the accuracy airborne thing, I think
Yeah. You're a hunter, so you are jumping, right?
so I don't know if I agree with the philosophy behind some of it. So I think that so right now you need to get 71 airborne effectiveness in order to kind of break even with what it was before. And it's not even breaking even actually. It's slightly below what it was before. And the way that airborne effectiveness works is that you're not just losing aim assist, you're losing accuracy, which is like, you shoot directly at something and it doesn't hit it because you
Yeah.
don't have the accuracy.
Body shot instead of a headshot.
Or just not shot at all, even though you're aiming directly at them because the accuracy isn't there. I think it would be better. Better might be a bad way to put it, but I think it would be better if it just affected your aim assist. So if you were really good at aiming and you were in the air and you had 0 aim assist, like 0 airborne effectiveness, you could hit them and you're putting your scope over the person and you hit it. Because right now you have to get to 71 to even not have like the random RNG experiences.
Wow.
You can get there, right? You can get to that point where 100% if you get your reticle over somebody's face, you hit them in the face, right?
It's kind of hard because I know they're going to add the airborne effectiveness stat into the game, but it's currently like really hard to figure out what your overall is. Like I can go on Dim and I can look at a weapon and see that like, oh, the Austringer has 13 airborne effectiveness.
Yeah.
So I know that, but I'm like, well, what do I actually have overall though?
Yeah.
And I think it would be a better system where if you are really good and you have 0 aim assist at all and you can hit that shot, good for you. If you want to have more
I think that's how
airborne
it always should have
effectiveness,
been. Watts.
then,
I
yeah.
completely agree with you. If you aim at somebody's face and you're not playing Fallout 3, then you should hit him in the face.
70, yeah, and it's high. It's up there.
Like you really have to build for that, right? Like you have to stack everything
Yeah.
towards it to be effective in air.
Yeah, you definitely do. I'm looking at this sidearm. The Traveler's Chosen has 35 airborne effectiveness, which is definitely a lot higher. But getting to those upper tiers, you're gonna need to use a very specific weapon. You're gonna have to use like there's a fragment where if you do something, it gives you airborne effectiveness when you stack it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
But currently it's a little difficult to figure out. But you can definitely feel the difference. Like you jump in the air and your scope is going woo, which would be fine if I knew that if I hit the shot, no matter what, I would hit it even with 0 aim assist.
Are you saying on a controller you feel the lack of magnetism when you try to aim on someone? Like it just whips right by?
Yeah, it not whips right by, but you can definitely feel it.
So yeah, you're on the ground, you
definitely
feel the normal magnetism pull, then you jump up and it's like something's different, right?
Yeah, it's even if you're like slightly off the ground, It's like not even if you're jumping.
No, I hate that.
Yeah, so I don't think I love I don't love the accuracy thing. I think the aim assist thing is not a bad idea, and I'd like to see how that feels, but I don't like the ghost bullet, RNG bullet kind of stuff.
Never have, right? It's always been
Feels
a
bad.
problem in Destiny.
Yeah, I feel like that's always the community's complaint. I don't understand without being able to play the other way why it would be good just to be able to aim at something and hit the shot. But
The skill gap goes up too high. That was honestly, I think that was one of the main reasons.
Really?
Yeah, from back then, the developers said,
but they
we don't want the
penalized
skill
top
gap
with
to
the-
be so wide. So, these are the reasons why some of these things are in there. Some guiding rails to keep everybody not
Just
going
put
too
some
far
blanks
off.
in the gun too sometimes.
Changes, yeah.
Go all
It
the way.
changes the game when the best place to be is always going to be in the air, right? It's like,
Yeah.
It does. It
That'd be
also
a-
changes the game where the best place to be is on the floor. Maybe
Yeah,
slightly
true.
less aggression,
True.
Yeah.
less.
Wouldn't that be
less
a great April
movement.
Fools? Like you go in a Crucible and like sometimes your gun's like it shoots like a little flag out, like haha.
Yeah.
Like occasionally,
bang.
like it doesn't even
little
shoot.
flag.
Little confetti poof.
I'm trying to find that TWAB where they talk about like those numbers. I can't find them.
Yeah.
The
It's
too long
specific
for the
numbers, like
internet
how
or
high
whatever.
your air accuracy has to be.
It
So
was, what,
obviously
3 weeks ago, maybe 4.
you haven't tried Rift yet, Watts, right?
No, you can do it in a private match,
Right.
which maybe I should put some stuff together and do that. And then you could try the new map and you could try Rift on it, which would be interesting.
Can you only play Rift on that new map? Do you know?
I don't know actually. I would
thought that's
assume
their
not,
intention.
because in D1, like you could pick Burnout, which was dear lord, you just pick up the spark, you walk 2 steps, and you can dunk it, which is kind of nuts.
But I think
And
the
it's
map.
fun.
I mean, the map was designed just for Rift, so I'd be curious if they let you. I guess they could still do control points though. There wouldn't be a reason.
Yeah,
Not.
Watts
Rift
played
is
it.
on every map. Yeah, private matches make sense for it to be everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sounds like we
Looking
gotta
forward to that.
have more info. Gotta play some Iron
Yep.
Banner.
I think it's next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
May
I'm
31st.
I'm gonna be playing a lot of Destiny this season. Like I really like that title. I love what they're doing with the story. I think it's really interesting. I'm really interested to find out why Caitlyn is being haunted by Gaul. Like what's the situation there?
That's right.
Why is that
so
her
weird.
weird.
nightmare?
Undercover lovers.
I mean, maybe. It could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Can we do some Twitter questions?
We did
yeah,
have
baby.
a TWAB.
Yeah, there's a TWAB we didn't talk about,
Oh.
right?
Well, it's
Yeah.
not called the Destiny TWAB podcast. It's called the Community Podcast.
Well, we definitely need to talk about the puppy emote.
Yes, I'm considering buying that.
I
So,
bought it immediately.
I have some silver.
So it's an emote that you can purchase in the Eververse store, and it says it's got a little banner above it that says that it's a charity item. So the proceeds go to the Bungie Foundation, which is
Okay,
awesome.
that's a loophole. I could buy it now.
Yep.
Yep, loophole acceptable. And they do say that. So this is an actual dog. Like this is someone's actual dog, and they have a
Aw.
whole story about it. And they're going to share that story on Bungie Day. So I'm interested to hear about the dog.
Very cool.
They show the armor. You know the armor that has the skulls in the masks?
Yeah.
Where's that armor available? How do I get that?
Season pass. The higher
Season pass.
higher.
That's the
Higher
season pass
unlocks.
armor.
Those
Okay.
look fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they look really good.
Yeah, it's kind of just recap mostly of what's happened. There's also some bugs
Yeah.
and stuff. Like they had an issue with the fragments, and some people were getting access to the fragments early, so they
That sparrow with the skull is pretty slick too.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
But
Oh yeah, this is worth noting. Cal said in chat, there's a PlayStation blog post that covers some of the Callus Keitel backstory that answers the question, the connection between Keitel and Gaul, written by the
Yeah.
Destiny historian of Bungie.
Is it a love connection?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to read it. I haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, I would
Chuck Woolery make it?
definitely. I'm gonna have to read that. It's also catches you up on who Callus is, because like it's been a while since Callus has been here. So if you're jumping
bit.
into this new season and you have no idea, it's gonna
Yeah.
give you a bit of a.
Good point. I bet there's a
rundown.
lot of people who
It's
not
probably a
played
lot
the
of
Red
people.
War, right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
So swap is mostly bugs, right?
yeah, it's mostly bugs. There's one
recap.
dungeon crash. If you happen to have your sound effects turned down to 0, apparently that will crash you in
Yeah.
the dungeon. So strange.
Really?
Don't have your sound effects down to 0. Put on
Who,
1.
by
if
the
you
way,
need.
who does that?
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
strange.
People
right?
who enjoy the music.
Only, yeah. That's what I was thinking. It was like you would probably just turn down master if you needed to turn it down for any reasons. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to
Worth
be
noting.
fair, right? That's an odd one to catch in QA. So I
Yeah, that would be weird.
can't
Yeah,
affect too many
definitely.
people. Just don't do it.
Yep. Did you guys have any crashes?
Yes. Oh my God. So I just want to say, you could not have written a story about this better.
Oh,
That
yeah.
Bungie
Lore.
updated Banshee to hold Telesto. He's fixing it. He's working on it. And now when you go talk to Banshee, your game
It
crashes.
disappears.
It disappears and your game crashes. I tried to go to Banshee 3 times in a row, and I was like, you know what? I can't. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to go to Banshee. Just keep crashing.
Got him again, Telesto.
I had a couple crashes.
Keeping that Telesto bug team employed.
Yeah. I had a couple crashes and was related to HDR. Weird.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Oh, interesting.
Do you play with HDR? I have turned HDR off on Destiny for quite a while now.
Yeah, I have it on.
I know
on PS5.
They adjusted it at one point, and it still was not working for me. So I just play in SDR, old school standard
Yeah,
definition.
Standard. Yeah, I've been using HDR just because it's kind of automatic with my TV. When it hits the 4K, it does the game response, HDR type of stuff. But it did crash a few times with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so some bugs and
Specifically
stuff.
because of the HDR.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons for console.
Guys, I love this known issue right here. The Season 17 Crucible Vermilion shader has 2 similar in name to the Season 8 shader Crucible Vermilion.
Wow.
True.
Yeah, Crucible. Yeah,
Good looking out.
It is similar. It is similar. Amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the TWAB. If you're interested in bugs
All
and
right.
stuff and some cool looking stuff, you should check it out.
Oh my! The art from Maryland, where
Mhm.
it's kind of like the girl with the earring. I think it's kind of modeled after, but it's a warlock. Is just
Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
insane.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful. I was very impressed with that. Check out Pop.
Yep.
Pop's cool.
Cool. Well, Briar, question time?
Yes. Simon Kaman says, would you rather get Gilded Dredgen this season, or you're not allowed to eat sweets for 3 entire months? Keep in mind, Gilded Dredgen requires 50 wins and more.
I ain't doing Gilded Dredgen, my friend.
Would you rather
So I
get
have to-
Gilded Dredgen?
I can eat fruit.
So
Yeah.
I could either play 50, get 50 wins of help me out here.
Gambit.
Gambit, thank you.
Dredging?
Or maybe lose a little bit of weight and get healthy.
I would drop
feel
the
like
sweets
it's
because I don't
win-win.
really eat sweets.
Yeah. I'm definitely not going to be getting Gilded Dredgen.
No.
I mean, I'm
No,
getting
ma'am.
Gilded Dredging and dropping the
They
sweets.
shortened it to 30 wins.
30! That's a win right there.
Wow. I can definitely do that. I
wow.
won't do that.
Bottle says, since the addition of the glaives and now the scythe introduced, do you think the scythe can be a new class of weapons in Destiny 2?
I want it to be a
Cool.
super, man. Imagine Bungie
Okay.
making a super from a scythe. It would
Yes.
be
I
the
mean-
coolest shiz ever. Oh,
That
man.
sounds like something that could have been really cool in a Solar 3.0 rework for
Well, maybe it
hunters.
could be like if there's a necrotic one, it would fit in there.
Oh,
Death
maybe,
and-
yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
All right.
badass. You
Excellent.
just suddenly pull out a scythe all covered
Oh
in
my God,
death.
imagine.
Yeah.
God, that would be
The scythe
amazing.
is really fun. It's a fun relic.
Yeah.
HollowPoint503 says, I haven't had a chance to dig into the season yet. What's the optimal power per hour to jump into the dungeon?
Yeah. This
Isn't
is good.
isn't the
This is what
dungeon,
Briar
like,
needs.
Isn't it 1550?
I
It is,
think-
right?
I feel like the point of entry is pretty fair because, obviously they're going to have the higher level difficulty for those who want it.
Yeah.
I forget what it's going to. I'll see if I can find it in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you've been playing though through Witch Queen and you're caught up to the 1550 level. I think you should be good. I don't think you have to be 1560. I'm gonna double check.
Briar's like, absolutely. You're right,
Briar's
I
like-
did. I sure did.
Just do the legendary missions for Witch Queen,
Yeah.
and then that pops you to 1520, and then you go and you burn through your standard power drops, and then your
Yeah,
pinnacles.
and get boots 6 times in a row.
Yeah, that is pretty depressing.
For this season as well, because now they've obviously upped the pinnacle, so you can get to 1560 by doing powerfuls. So
Hmm.
dungeons are pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Pretty accessible.
Josh says, what are you nicknaming the callous bobbleheads?
They are so funny looking.
I haven't seen these. Are these available on the Bungie store?
No, they're in game. They're kind of like, so the last season with Witch Queen, we had the moths that you collect, and then you kind of collect all of them. And there's Callus bobbleheads this season.
Oh,
So
I
you
haven't
go there,
seen
and Callus is just bobbling his head like this. It's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, every time I go to one, I'm like, yeah. Got a big,
man.
giant Callus head and a tiny body. It's great.
They should put those on the Bungie store.
I would buy one of those. That one is,
Yeah.
although I guess I don't know if I want a Callus one.
Callous one, yeah.
Oh, come on. You're abandoning your friends so
He
quickly.
killed a puppy.
One puppy.
Yes.
One puppy.
His daughter's
For a
only
good
companion
cause.
and friend. Her only
look-
love.
And look at where she is now. Successful. She's an empress. Obviously had her best interest at heart.
Mm.
Not every decision you make as a parent is going to work out 100%. So you take a lot of swings and misses as a parent, let me tell you. Sometimes the dog has to go to the farm,
Now she sided with Guardians. Yeah.
See? Perfect. She,
Dog has to go to the
she did right.
Oh, man.
The Pleasure Gardens up
Hollow
north.
Point 5 Hollow Point 503 says, can we get Fran to give his interpretation of the Nutbush dance?
Yeah.
Yes, Fran.
I don't know what a nut bush is, and
How
I
do you
will
feel
not
about the
dignify
Nutbush?
this any
Yeah.
further.
How does it make
Just-
you
I'm
feel?
not feeling any nut bush.
Just jiggle the
Mm.
Nutbush
Okay.
around in your mouth a little bit and just spit it out a couple of times.
What?
And it's just fun to say
Mylan-
it,
Mylan has corrupted you all.
Have you ever heard of the Nutbush dance before?
Yeah, it's Mylan's fault.
Yeah.
I heard it either via, I had DCP live on and it was coming up.
Ah,
or
so
it was
it's from
like
us.
Watts or my, yeah. I mean, I've never. So yeah, in short, I've never heard of Nutbush outside of you guys and
Mylan.
Mylan.
What about
Specifically
Tiny
Mylan's
Tina's
wife.
Nutbush Adventures? Huh?
Yeah.
You never heard of those?
Yeah.
No, I've not. But wait, for real, isn't it it's sort of like the Australian hokey pokey or something like that? Or
Yeah,
like
it seems
the
like
Macarena?
yeah.
It's like line
It's-
yeah.
dancing in middle
Yeah.
school that they learn, but
Yeah.
apparently
They
it's
named it.
nationwide over in Australia, and then everywhere else in the world they're like, "What?"
Everyone else is
Call it the
like,
what now?
"You're
So
the
does
what?"
it come on at weddings? Is it got a
Yeah,
does it have
yeah.
a song that goes
Yeah, I
with
think
it, or
so.
is it just a dance?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Nutbush,
Tina
Nutbush City
Turner.
Limits. It's an actual song.
Nutbush City Limits.
Nut-
That's the name of the
Yeah,
song, and I
it's-
was like, "What?" And then it's it's Tina Turner, and I was like,
It's
"What?
Tina
It's Tina
Turner.
Turner?"
Because,
Yeah, I know.
Nutbush is in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's an
Okay,
actual
wait, wait,
town.
wait. Which came first, Nutbush
Nut-
the song or Nutbush the dance?
I think the
Song.
city.
You sure?
No, the city.
Yeah.
The city came
City
first,
probably
which
did.
probably inspired Tina Turner releasing that, and then
Get her
Australians
Nutbush on.
couldn't get enough of it, and then
Yeah, they
the rest
just
is
just
over.
loved it. They were like, Nutbush, sign me up. Make all the babies do it.
Yeah. I mean, if we're ever all in the same place with Mylan, I will
We're
get
doing the
together with
Nutbush.
all you guys and do the Nutbush. Yeah,
Doing the Nutbush.
but
Yeah.
we have to have a little time to rehearse and really nail it.
Oh, we're going in cold.
I feel like that's only going to make the experience worse.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we are landing as raw as possible right into the Nutbush.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Within city limits.
I recently explained this to a friend of mine who was visiting over the weekend. He was like, "What? Nutbush? What the hell are you talking about?" It's like, "Yeah, it's a thing." He's like, "What?" He's like,
Yeah.
anyways.
I know it's a thing. Why are you talking to me about it? I'm not, stop bringing it up.
We can't. We've been talking about it for like a month.
We've been talking about it for a while. It's got his hooks on us, let me tell you.
Hold up. Reaper just said she's from Nutbush. Is Tina Turner really from Nutbush, Tennessee? Because this, I have to look
That
this
would
up. This,
that would
I don't
make
believe
sense.
any of it.
Get her on the podcast.
Okay.
hold on.
Get her on- wow.
What's your birth city? What is it? Oh, hometown? Hometown.
Which-
For some reason I couldn't. No, it's Brownsville, Tennessee. It's not Nutbush.
Oh,
Chat.
baited.
Briar.
Brownsville.
Sorry. A little latent coughing.
No problem.
No, it says Nutbush is a rural, unincorporated community in Haywood County, Tennessee.
So
Yeah.
it's an unincorporated community, so it's not even really a city.
I don't know.
There can be city
One of the
limits to
top
an
Google
unincorporated
things
community.
was Tina Turner born in Nutbush?
Was she born
Weren't we
in
all?
hometown different?
According
Birth
to
city?
KnoxNews.com.
Is it her birth city?
According to KnoxNews.com. That's the only source I have time to look up.
Okay, birthplace.
She was born in Nutbush, Tennessee.
Nutbush, Tennessee.
Oh,
wow.
so she was born there. Huh.
She
I mean,
really
this is
was.
according to Knoxville. Knox News. No,
Chat, I'm
Johnny
so
Knoxville
sorry that I
News?
pointed at you.
Oh boy.
You know, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Dude, there's a
It is. It's a good
website
one.
for Nutbush. Experience Nutbush.
Experience the nut, but don't click on the
Yeah.
website.
Yes,
West
please.
Tennessee.
Don't
That
click
gets you
on-
on a list.
It is, man.
Yeah,
They
don't
got a whole
click on
website
that.
about it.
Don't do it.
Stay away from that.
It is. You know,
Stay away
it's
from that.
the soundtrack of America. Made in Tennessee. All right.
Soundtrack to America now.
Feel more intelligent.
Hot Toast Summer says, since this season got us dealing with nightmares of our buds, what do you think would be the nightmare bugging you constantly? Mine would be my 9-year-old self who stole my dad's credit card to buy Xbox Live for a month and then blamed it on my cousin.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
Oh, man.
That's pretty good. Nice job.
Ooh, tough choices here. You know what? I think Pope would be Tef's.
Yeah.
He'd be like coming in and like just interrupting you and
No,
judging.
he'd have
I
Taco
think
Bell.
Teft would be yours, Fran, with all
You think
those
he'd be mine?
tech
Yeah. It sounds like you
yeah,
were
Teft would be
projecting.
mine.
You're
And
projecting
maybe
there?
Pope would be Tef's.
Yeah, so but Pope would have Taco Bell
Who would
completely
Pope?
smeared all over his face. He'd come into my office and I'd be like, go! Stay away from the electronics, Jesus.
Wait, did this happen?
Oh yeah, no, he really had.
Oh, okay.
he
It's
had-
an actual like recurring nightmare that
yeah,
based on a
it's a
real-
nightmare
real
that
life
happened. No. No, there was an episode where Pope, we had a challenge for GCX or Guardian Con, and Pope had he had to eat Taco Bell, but he took it over the limit. He went to Nutbush city limits and decided to smear it all over his face, and it was disgusting.
That's disgusting.
He had a beard at the time, too.
Oh,
kinda, like,
that's-
wrapped in his beard.
That's part of
Ah.
it, man. One thing, actually,
wait.
legit nightmare stuff for me is like if honey were to get all over my beard or like egg yolk. Oh God, day's ruined, man.
That's an
Which
immediate
is
shower
worse?
situation. Like, just
That's-
get right back in there.
It's an immediate bad mood.
Which is worse, Mama Bird or what Pope did with the Taco Bell?
Oh,
Mama Bird.
Mama
Mama
Bird,
Bird.
100%.
Not even like hesitation.
Yeah.
No one even thought about it. Mama Bird. Mama Bird.
Mama Bird, I've shut
That is
out of my
the
mind.
thing that scarred a nation.
No.
Mama
ooh.
Bird.
Yeah, I mean, we watched him do it live on stream like
Ugh.
last year,
Ah,
and it was
I
just
saw
as
it. That was when
disgusting.
it was awful.
Yeah.
couldn't look
Oh,
away. It was terrible.
MTL Rocker says, just wanted to say to Mylan, even though I'm sure he isn't going to be on tonight, congrats on the new bundle of shit and no sleep. But seriously, super glad for him and Danny. Sorry if misspelled.
Yeah.
Very, very
I'm
cool.
I'm excited to hear about how dad life's going.
I hope he names him Nutbush.
When you have a child in Australia, are there special like Australian like tips and tricks? Like, do you get a snake-proof like
Snake-proof your house?
rocker? You know? Yeah, like I don't know, like you don't
spider
want
net
like
to put over the top of it.
Yeah,
Spider net proofing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like what? Yeah, keep the bogans away.
Probably.
Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we'll have to find out.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's just that's part of the experience. Like you need to be able to survive all that to be an adult in Australia. So you kind of
You got to be able to fight off
get
a
any-
6-foot python.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, they probably give you like a machete as a young age more so.
Yeah.
than-
And that's
They're
called
not
a
going
knife.
to protect you. They're like you if this.
But they
snake
won't
comes in
give
your
you guns
bed-
because they had one fucking school shooting and they got rid of them. One
Yeah.
school
Oh,
shooting.
and it never happened
and
again.
Fucking
Weird.
out.
That's right.
Yeah, huh? Imagine
strange.
if there was
Doing something
a way to
about the
solve that
problem.
problem, huh? Imagine if some other countries had figured it out.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh. You don't
Wayne
have to
says,
apologize for that.
"What's Fran Marabella's what's Fran
Marberry?
Marabella's hair routine
Friend Mary Berry?
to get
I don't
those
have a-
locks and beard looking so good?" I feel like we've talked about this before.
No
but maybe we
crazy
just
hair
need a
routine, but
refresher.
like if you have hair, you're gonna like put a blow dryer on, which you should. Think
Yeah.
of putting a product in it. That's all. It's not. You could use all sorts of things.
I'll give the
People
beard a
think I have,
blow
like,
dry. I ain't got time
My
for
hair
it
is
to like
a mess though,
you know?
man. It's major party in the back right now. You guys
Yeah,
have no
same.
idea.
Wait,
But that's
you got
just
a
because
mullet?
I've been.
You got a mullet going on in the back?
It was just super long hair. I think my
It's
hair
a-
is almost
I
as
think
long
it's
as
a mullet.
Watson's.
I
Yeah?
think it's
A mullet is like bangs and like. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Mm-mm-mm.
right.
I
Yeah.
don't do
No.
Yeah, you gotta have the short sides too for a
Yeah.
mullet, right?
Short sides, long in the
that.
back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe a little spike on the top. Just a little.
Oh God. A spot like like a comb tease, you mean? Like a
Yeah, just a little.
just a little like a cockatoo is what you're describing, I think. By the way.
Yeah, same difference.
Cockatoo.
I will get my hair cut eventually, but for now I've not had to worry about it.
I lost my place. Zachary
We thought you
Richard
just-
says, "What's a
We were taking a moment of
What's a
silence for
story
Frank's
froze,
or
hair.
you know?
experience at your first job that will always make you laugh? A story or experience at your first job. This is my first job.
Yeah. First time. Being a podcaster. Oh, God.
First job?
It's been so
What
long,
was
I
my
can't
first
remember.
That made you laugh. Why do they assume that it made you laugh? Nothing about
Yeah.
I think
Nothing
first
about my
job
first job
made
made me
Yeah.
laugh. No. It
My
all
first
made
job,
me
I was-
sad or cry or
He
angry.
must have had a
I
good
think I
first-
was 12 or 13, and I could walk to the dog kennel that was near my house. So my mother basically get over there, get a job.
So
so I
Briar,
cleaned
if you're
up-
gonna end this
I
dog story the same way you've been ending the
Oh,
rest
it
of
gets
them,
worse.
I don't want to know.
It's
Just
worse
stop
than
now.
you think. My job was to clean up the kennels, right? Clean the shit out of the kennels, put it in a trash bag, and throw them away. The job ended when I went on vacation with my mother, and they called us when we got home because they had lost my dog.
Oh my God.
Wait, you worked at the place
Yeah.
that were holding your dog?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
it's a
kennel.
kennel.
They-
Okay,
that's what
yeah,
they do
yeah.
there.
No, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that makes
And
sense. It adds up. yeah.
You never found it?
Never found the dog. No.
Oh my God.
We
that's why.
advertised. We advertised in the paper, like lost dog, and we got a bunch of creepy fuckers calling the house, which just was icing on top.
What the hell?
Do you think
Who
they
who
killed
does
your-
that?
Do you think they killed your dog?
Creepy fuckers. No, I think the dog got out somehow and tried. I lived so close. I lived walking distance to the house.
It went home and then got lost.
I
after
think
that?
it tried to run home and got lost, and who knows? We were gone for 2 weeks.
Jesus.
So that's
Christ.
my fun,
It's not
happy
funny.
story.
Is
about
that
my
kennel-
first-
Funny.
Is that kennel still
About
in
it.
business?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
My first memorable job was actually assembling newspapers. So, like, many people didn't realize it, but machine would do like part of it, but you have like local ads, and then you have the local, and so you have to sort of assemble pieces. You get the sports section, and you put this all together, and like,
Oh yeah, you
it
put
was
the
literally
inserts
like
and
it was like a
stuff.
pyramid
Okay.
stack, like steps. That you would go down and like fold, and your hands would just be all like ink and. But anyway, there was
Yeah.
never anything.
Did you
funny
deliver the
about it.
papers, or you just were
No,
assembling?
I just assembled them. Although,
Oh.
my brother-in-law had a job where you would deliver the stacks. That's how I got the job to the gas stations and supermarkets to fill up the machines. You had to do that at like 3 a.m. before they open
Right.
it. Oh, it's awful.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing about it was good. And I worked in like basically it was like an old wood car garage effectively, and
Yeah.
it'd be like
Filled
90
with
to
asbestos
105
brake dust.
degrees probably. In summer it was just like brutal. So no, nothing funny about it.
One of my friends, this is another sad story. His first job was installing fireplaces, and one of his duties was to cut asbestos backing with a knife, and then he'd crack it over his knee to like make the break, and he remembers the dust just flying through the air, and then he'd install the asbestos in the
I hope he
fireplace.
had,
That was
like,
his first job.
Masks.
No,
Jesus
no masks.
Christ.
What? That's not funny at all. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Briar just says
He's
"See,
only
this is
probably
the
10
West."
years older than me.
Okay.
Holy
well,
moly.
Meaning
The
he's
moral of the story is
110.
nobody has funny stories except
No.
for this person.
Yeah, Working
Yeah.
sucks.
I want to know from this person. Please reply to all of us and tell us.
Yeah.
your
What's your funny story?
Yeah, I would like to
Because-
know. Yeah, funny story would be good.
Oh, you know what? I do have a story. I think I've told this actually, because I worked at this warehouse and I had to pull a bucket of glue from a pallet and the top of the shelf. And yeah, right. I feel like I might have told this story before. So I grab the forklift, roll on over there, top the thing, and then for some reason I go a little too aggressive on the turn, and I turn it, and all of the the shrink wrap was already cut a little bit on the pallet of glue, so all the glue fell over from like
What kind of glue is this? Like Elmer's glue, wood glue, rubber cement?
carpet,
Like, what are we
carpet glue,
talking?
carpet installation
Carpet
glue.
glue.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds toxic as fuck.
Oh, absolutely. Spilled
Doesn't
everywhere.
sound good.
I was like, am I fired? And they're like, just clean it up. Wasn't fired.
Just clean it up. What's your cleanup window on that? Like, does it start drying pretty quick?
I don't know. It was all afternoon, though.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like, literally a pallet of buckets of glue. I just had to
Jesus.
grab one of them to put on the truck. Whew. Yeah. That is terrible. It's not funny at all.
Yeah, nothing's funny about any of it.
None of these
Toxic
stories
glue,
are funny. They're
asbestos.
all
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wayne says, you've got important guests coming over for dinner. What's your go-to tried and true home-cooked meal that you will be sure to impress?
There's a local restaurant that does a mean.
Taco Bell.
Definitely Taco
It's
Bell.
brajol. I do have one. It's pasta. You
No
basically
one, no
take-
one comes over, so I just.
Yeah, well, that's true now, but
That's true.
once upon a time. But it's basically you take like a top sirloin. It's actually there's a lot of ways to do it. The actual it's more meant to be served like a meat dish where you slice it and it's like a pinwheel of Parmesan cheese and like herbs on the inside of like a top sirloin that you roll up with all that on the inside. But it's like a sauce. It's like a meat sauce, and you simmer it, for braise it. That is for like 8 hours, whatever, and it just falls apart, and it's amazing. So you can wrap sausage up in there if you want, garlic. Oh man, it's good. Yeah,
Nice.
My go-to was always to order steaks off of Omaha Steak Company.
Omaha steaks.
Omaha Steakhouse?
Yeah, just get them delivered and then just do out on the grill, and do that with like a baked potato and maybe broccoli or asparagus, because you can't fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like,
And everybody's happy, and
steaks?
it's way faster than what I just described, which is a lot
Yeah.
smarter.
I feel like you could screw up a steak pretty easily. if
you
don't know how to
can you can by like leaving it on too long, but like,
Or have too
Like-
many beers while you're making it.
Yeah.
okay, I
What's
mean,
the
like,
beer
mistakes
quotient?
happen, but like in the modern era when you have availability to timers, you can just tell your phone, like, tell me to take the steak
And like
off in
meat
5
thermometers.
minutes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, meat
Yeah.
thermometers.
meat thermometer.
Yeah,
Man,
true,
you can
true,
buy them
true.
for like $8 now, and they're just like brilliantly accurate.
And Omaha steaks are like better than the average steak that most people eat on the regular.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
just
so it's
having a
like-
good steak is.
Yeah.
Makes it pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, assuming that like the person who's coming over isn't vegetarian, you're
Right.
in pretty good shape.
They can eat the potatoes and broccoli though.
Yeah, a potato. Actually, like a actual baked potato is also kind of rare. Like, if you actually bake a potato, like it's better than the most quote unquote baked potatoes that were microwaved. You know?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Oh, definitely.
We do
Microwave
baked potatoes
potato,
all the
get all
time, or like
stretchy and
sweet
weird.
potatoes.
Oh, they're so good.
If you do,
Yeah.
you cut a sweet potato in half, cook it down on the cut part in the oven. Oh my god, it's delicious. It
hungry.
doesn't really even need any kind of extra stuff. It's just
Right.
delicious the way it is.
It's not a hard thing to do, but it's something that is above and beyond what most people's expectations of a baked potato are.
Yeah.
Because so many people just microwave them now.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shame on you.
Even restaurants do it.
Shame.
You know?
You got me
Applebee's?
thinking about that now that you said it, because the way you're like, oh, it's supposedly baked, and I was like, yeah, wait a second.
Applebee's, man.
Probably getting
Everything's
duped.
microwaved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most of those fast food, like Fridays, Chili's, most of those
Yeah.
places,
Probably.
the recipe comes in a bag that they dump onto a plate and microwave.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Clayton Kisco says, if Fran ever has a kid, will he name them Fran Marabella the Fourth?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the third. I would actually love, because it's derived from Francesco. And I don't know if I could get away, but sort of course correct.
Francesco!
It'd be Francesco Michael Mirabella the Fourth instead
Yeah.
of Francis Michael Mirabella the Third.
I think you can do it. You can make the Francesco
It's the
exception
same
here.
because it is derived from it, and I don't know why
Yeah.
they messed it up.
Would you give it more of an Italian like emphasis? Francesco, you know?
Francesco Mirabella. Probably
Mirabella.
not, because then they'd start speaking to me in Italian. Somebody, non
Fran,
parla italiano.
Approximately how many of these happen each day, you know?
I do gesture with my hands, but when I'm in the chair, it doesn't happen. You can't count them. I just did it. You can't count them. It just happens. It's like it's a reflex.
Genetics.
Yeah.
It's like a
Exactly.
bird learning to fly, an Italian learning to. I was supposed to be the fourth. I'm a junior though, because my great grandmother messed up on the birth certificate and named the kid, first name and then middle name was Junior, and then last name.
Oh, so it started
So she-
over after that?
Yeah, so I had to start over.
I feel like that's
Oh,
like
amazing.
a clerical thing, though, right? So,
Yeah, well,
that's
that's how
where-
it works though.
So wait. You have the same 4 first names and last
First
names.
names and last names,
Just
but
the
the middle
middle
name
name.
is different because she messed up and instead of
Yeah,
putting the
that's-
correct middle name in there, put Junior. It could have been fixed.
Briar
That's a
Rabbit.
clerical
I
error.
don't think
Briar
he needs
Junior
the full
Rabbit.
same name either, right?
Right.
Just like the first name.
Yeah,
I
I mean
think you didn't say middle
technically
name.
it's supposed to be the same, but like, I feel like you could literally change your name to correct it. Briar is the point, and
I
then
could.
you would, you could add a 5th
So from now on, I will be Francesco Rabbit the Fourth.
Esquire.
Esquire.
Whoa. San Dimas. I don't know why I started.
Joaquin Fernandez says, "Tell me your favorite Spanish phrase. Quiero comerme a briar. It's not an option. Greetings from Argentina." Quiero is spelled Quiero. The next word is Comerme. And I'll do a quick Google search on that to find out what it means.
You just told someone something very bad.
Yeah.
I want to
you
eat your
Briar.
pancreas.
Delicious. Briar.
That's a great.
Have you ever
also
had
a great
oven
Oh, it
movie.
means
baked?
I want to eat.
Oven baked briar. Not microwave.
My question is, how in Spanish is "I want to eat your pancreas" just 2 words? How
No, it's
frequently
not.
are they
That's-
using?
No, Brian, that's the first. The phrase means I want to eat you.
Well, why does it come up as "I want to eat your pancreas"?
That's just Google's first thing that apparently people search for
Yeah,
eating
maybe-
pancreas a lot.
Maybe Google is like, we need to fix this.
That's two pound
It means I want to eat your briar.
Yeah. We all know what it means.
Got him.
You definitely you got him pretty good there. You got him pretty good.
Why is there a romance
barbecue.
/ drama called "I Want to Eat Your Pancreas"?
Oh, it's a great movie.
Oh,
Everyone
there
should
is.
watch it.
That's what
it
that
sounds like
is.
something you would enjoy. Yes.
No, it's really good. It's very prepare to cry though. Prepare to cry a lot. Very emotional.
When they start eating their pancreas.
No, it's really sad.
Watch, are you being serious? I can't tell.
Yeah.
You've
It's
actually
just
seen
that-
this?
Of course she has.
It's really sad.
What happens in I Want to Eat Your
Well,
Pancreas?
it's about a girl
2018.
being really sick, and he's the person. The boy is like, I would do anything to help you. I wish I could,
Eat
get
your
rid of your
Eat your
pancreas?
pancreas.
your pancreas.
Because that
It's-
helps.
It's very sad.
To
You should watch
make-
it.
There's a
Very
million
good.
reasons
Baked
that would
potato?
help.
It's very, very good.
Oh, is it adapted from a book? I think is what it is.
Bram
like, looking
Stoker's
into
A book
I Want to Eat
or
Your
a
Pancreas?
manga.
I don't know.
This is
I'm so
This
curious
is taking-
about what to eat your pancreas.
it's taking a turn for the worse with this question.
Oh yeah.
It's really
Like, am I
good.
the
High school
title?
boy finds the
Bram
diary of his
Stoker's I
classmate.
Wanna Eat Your
Yeah, read it.
Right?
Read it,
Only-
Fran.
Like you
Hell,
wrote
high
Dracula
school boy.
Next had a hit, but this one wasn't.
It's a coming-of-age tearjerker that inspired 2 films. A high school boy finds the diary of his classmate, only to discover that she's dying. Yamauchi Sakura has been silently suffering from a pancreatic disease, and now exactly one person outside her family knows. Yeah. you get the
So it's a
idea.
comedy.
There you
Got
go.
it.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Wow. Grim.
Mm-hmm.
Watts, you were so deadpan saying like, oh yeah, that
Because
movie.
it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Not a pick-me-upper.
It's not a feel good kind
Yeah.
of show.
Yeah.
Movie.
Mr. Goodbite says, "Who's excited that Taco Bell brought back their Mexican pizza?" I'm sure Pope Bear is already
Oh, yeah,
trying
Pope.
to travel to the
God.
closest
Pope
Taco
Bear
Bell to get
got
one.
2 of them. He got 2 and sandwiched his face and then sent me a picture. No, he didn't do that. That'd be amazing
Well,
though if he did.
Fran might be moving to South American
America?
country,
Chile?
right? So he probably will get the best Taco Bell there. I think.
Venezuela?
Pope.
Pope.
Wait,
Yeah, you said
Pope
Fran.
Lucky? You said Fran. I got
You said
real
I'm sorry.
confused.
I'm
I
sorry.
was like, Watts was
You're
like,
trying to get rid
Fran's
of Fran?
moving. Fran's
mean,
moving. He's out of there.
how did she
Getting rid
know
of Fran.
that? Is what I no, it's not true.
You're like,
You're like, how did they know?
well, this is
I didn't
news
know.
to
Am I
me, and
getting
I am
moved out?
highly concerned about this news because I was not aware of this. I have no time for this.
I got to
I would-
finish Elden Ring.
Let me ask you guys: has there ever been like a menu item at your favorite restaurant, specifically fast food, if you can, that they've taken off that you've always missed?
Always
Definitely,
missed.
I mean,
Hmm.
like I moved around, so it's hard to like.
Oh, sure, like different regional.
I feel like when I was younger, for sure, there was a few places that happened, but
I was disappointed in myself that McDonald's a few years ago added breakfast 24 hours a day, and they only did it for like a month because it was wildly unpopular. And I did not partake even once during that month, and I was so disappointed with myself.
no,
Like,
you didn't
'cause I've
support
always
the
assumed that
cause.
if McDonald's served the Egg McMuffin all day, that's the only thing I would eat for like a month.
Bacon, egg, and cheese, man.
Hmm.
But I didn't
so
even
you were
get
mad
it
at
once.
yourself, really, because you
I was
didn't
mad at
support it.
myself, not
Yeah.
McDonald's.
And then it was too late.
Yeah.
You didn't give McDonald's the reason to keep it going.
Yeah,
So
I've
they had
had
to
Right.
cut their
There you
costs,
go.
cut their losses.
I've had places close that that was like the
Yeah.
only place. If I could get a good blank, in this case it
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
an al pastor burrito. It was this tiny little shop that used to be by work when I was over at IGN just down south of here. But the guy, his name was Moses, and he would like trim the fat, like lovingly. It was like a special recipe kind of thing. And there was just something about the taste. I've never had an al pastor burrito. And the wrap too was always like perfectly tight and like there's nothing like it. And I've like now talking like well over a decade, I've never had anything that compares.
So, I think I feel like San Francisco or places like San Francisco, especially, you fall victim to this. It's not so much the fast food thing, because fast food,
Yeah.
it's like take it or leave it. They're bringing back the McRib, whatever, But when it comes to places
Breakfast all
like
day.
when it comes to places like the Bay Area, like the turnover is so high that you could find your perfect Thai place or your perfect, they got this
Yeah.
all these vegan specialties, and then like a month or two later, like it closes because
Mhm.
the competition is so stiff there. You'd be like, no,
The front for
that
cocaine business. Who knew?
was- yeah. They lost my perfect
It's true.
place that I always
You're
get
always
this
at
one
risk.
thing.
Enjoy it while
Yeah.
it's there,
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a thing where there was a ramen place that like
Oh, man.
the delivery was actually really good because they separate it. Of course, they don't deliver it in the soup, so it's just sitting in there.
Mm.
And it was like the best. It was just the best. And then they stopped delivering, and I think they shut down for a little bit, and
Damn, cocaine
was
front
sad.
also.
Life was never the same.
it was never the same.
Yeah, have you guys had like the COVID, just restaurants wiped out after COVID?
Yes.
Like so many locally owned restaurants were just completely
Yeah.
fucked by COVID, and now really most of what's left now are chains that were able
Yep.
to
Yeah.
survive, which is
were-
really sad.
Yep.
Yeah, thankfully, to Tef's point, in San Francisco, there's no chains really, so it's just like a bunch of
Yeah,
different
it's
places.
too
But
expensive,
they've shifted, and yeah,
Like it's not
crazy.
affordable to keep like a Pizza Hut there.
Yeah,
I just don't. I actually think it's more about the culture because like those are huge corporations, but like nobody would ever like. Why would you go when there's literally like 55 pizza places in a 7 mile radius? Like you know what I mean? Why would you ever
True,
go?
but to be fair, so I recently took my mother and father-in-law over to the Philippines embassy to get dual citizenship, and there was a
Nice.
McDonald's right next door, and they went to the McDonald's afterwards, and there was like an
Different-
upcharge too. Like it was an expensive McDonald's because it was right there in like the financial district in San
Please.
Francisco.
Right.
Why?
So yeah, I was like,
all
really?
McDonald's is expensive now. It's like value meals are like $12 now.
She spent like
I
35
I feel like
bucks.
that's
35.
Yeah,
Yeah, she walked out with a
That's not a
$35
value
tab, and I was
anymore.
like, "What did you buy?" She's like,
that's
"You
an
know,
awful
these
story.
fries and
We
drink."
had
and,
only in the deepest touristy sections. We had a couple things. We got an In-N-Out, a Jack in the Box, and like I think there's a Taco Bell somewhere on the corner. I mean, you can get a few of those types of places, but like in general, you can't find fast food in the
Yeah.
denser part of SF. Right?
yeah. But again, that
'Cause
real
there's just way
estate,
too many other good things.
the real estate though is so expensive there. So
Yeah.
it's like they
It's like-
they need to make a profit off of that location if they're going to move in.
I see what you're saying. Their food doesn't cost enough, the totals to outweigh the margins with the rent. Yeah, that's a possibility.
You know what I
mean? Yeah, that.
but they put the cheese right in the crust.
exactly. If I knew that, I'd be going a lot more.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm
That
just
would
super hungry.
agreed.
Super
I'm
angry.
gonna say this is the last question of the night. Blady McBladerson
All right.
says, "You have to choose one of the following to eat: an Eggo waffle covered in cream cheese, a pancake covered in cake frosting, a candlestick salad, which is a banana stuck into a ring of pineapple topped with a cherry and drizzled with mayo
Ugh.
to look like melting wax." That's the only one that sounded awful to me.
Actually
that's
sounds
it.
And a
offensive.
pancake covered in
Pancake
well, it sounded
covered with
good
frosting.
until you put mayo on it.
That's what I'm saying. The
Wait.
mayo drizzling to make it look like wax. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Up until that point, I was totally on board.
The
Wait,
Banana
pancake,
stuck into a
is
ring
like
of
a-
pineapple with a cherry. Yeah,
it would
great.
just be like
Yeah.
a cake. If it's
yeah, cake with
like a
pancake.
cake.
Yeah,
So you can choose the pancake with just frosting. on it,
pancake
right?
cake.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
pick that. Easy.
That's delicious.
Yeah,
I mean-
just like
Yeah,
that.
that's way too easy.
an Eggo covered in cream cheese. I mean, it's not my ideal, but
Yeah, that was also
Okay.
not
I mean,
bad.
that would get
I
eaten
would've done
first before we eat Briar on that crash plane. So there's that.
it. Yeah.
I might eat Brian
That's
first,
comforting.
actually.
what the? F-
I really don't like cream cheese.
Depends on if there's a
Oh, I'm sorry.
microwave or an
Did I say
oven.
that was the last question? Actually, there's 15 more questions.
No.
So just hold on.
Well, have fun answering them. It's been great, everybody.
All right, that's episode 291. The season is haunted. Moon's
The
haunted.
season's haunted.
Podcast is haunted. The Leviathan's haunted. Everything's haunted, guys.
There's
Moving
a
to
lot
South
of
America.
hauntings. Moving to South America.
I think that's
Fran's
what Watt
moving to
said.
South America.
Going to go. I believe you're going there to get authentic Taco Bell. Is what you
Yes.
said.
Yeah, that's what he the
Oh,
Get it from the
Mexican pizza.
source.
Authentic South American.
Right from the
Taco Bell
straight
pizza.
from the bell.
Yeah, he's gonna move to El Salvador to get Mexican pizza from Taco Bell.
And that's
Mhm.
because they stuff the crust with queso. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
It's right in the crust. It's right between the two sides of the chalupa.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, episode 291. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Fran, where can people find you doing your thing?
Right here on Twitch. Well, you might be watching on YouTube, but Twitch TV/FM3_. Would appreciate if you haven't followed yet, head on over.
Any ETA on finishing Elden Ring?
Yeah, I'm 300 hours in and I'm very close. First
Close.
playthrough. I
Close,
well,
guys.
Being like
I-
It
100
keeps
hours.
running away from the
think-
Halleck tree, man.
yeah, I don't know, but like it seems like the Halleck tree looks like the end game. And I
What
haven't
level are you
explored
going to
yet.
be? Like
Okay.
300 or something?
No, but I'm like 165. It's not by intent.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just-
that's not bad.
yeah, I'm
It's
like
actually
160.
lower than what I was when I.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's
Maybe
scary.
maybe you're just dying a lot, friend.
Well, I am dying.
Fran, at what point?
Deaths per hour. It's only
what-
like 2 or 3. It's not
At
a
what
big deal.
point in the 300-hour equation are you officially going to get good? Is it going to kick in? You know?
I was good in
Mm.
hour 1, Teft. How dare you?
Oh,
That's
wow.
It's taken me a
great.
long
That's
time
impressive.
because I'm so good.
Okay,
Because I enjoy it so much. Because I'm so good. Somehow
that's
I
great.
put it together.
I know my co-op buddy. I'm going to call you up. Say, hey,
Do it, man. People
Yeah.
will tell you. Tale of FM3 and the lands between.
the tarnished.
The
Uh,
varnished.
so yeah, thank everyone for listening and hanging out. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs. We appreciate everyone. Thanks for everyone listening, and see you next week for some
See
more
you next week.
podcasting. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Nut.